our first time doing this. We're doing lots of first times this year, right? And hello, I know we have a whole group in Maine that is joining us. So hi to Meg's team. Bless you.
Sorry.
And of course, we're recording it as well, so we'll have the recording for you all. But this is, of course, our Mary Kay University. I will ask, since we're training and recording, that you try not to talk to each other because we want the sound to come through really clear. If you have questions, please make a list of questions because I'm going to give you a chance to go over those and kind of we'll talk through some questions after each time. But let me just say that my favorite people to work with are new consultants. So I know some of you are not brand new in this room, but this is really designed for new consultants. And so I'm going to treat you all as if you are brand new consultants. Because we just kind of start at the beginning, and my goal today is that you just get a good foundation for some of the basics in your business, and really being able to have some systems in place and know all of the resources that are available to you to help you be successful. The most important thing though is that how many of y'all got a starter kit? Right? Everyone get a starter kit? Y'all got a starter kit when you started? Okay, well, you have everything you need to be successful. Okay, it is in that starter kit. It is on Mary Kay in Touch. If I fell off the face of the earth, you could still do this business. Okay, so that's what I want you to know is that you have the tools, you have the resources, you have what it takes inside of you to be able to do and achieve anything you want to in this business. So we're going to do some quick introductions because I love for you all to get to know each other too. And so I'm just going to have y'all tell me your name and how long you've been a Mary Kay, what made you decide to join, and what do you feel like your most immediate goal is for your business right now? And some of you who've been in longer, it's going to sound different, but your name, how long you've been at Mary Kay, what made you decide to join the business, and if you're virtually, if you all are together with some people, y'all have to talk to each other too. But what do you think your most immediate goal is for your business right now? So we'll go this way. Well, and I hope you guys, of course, I know not everyone could hear and see that. And the fun part is you'll get to meet each other at seminars. So, the fun part over this past few months is, a lot of y'all have been joining us virtually because, of course, we're spread out all over the country. We have from Alaska to Maine to even have Hawaii and Florida and everywhere in between. So that's the fun part about having no territories. So right now, everyone has your pen and paper. So you're going to take lots of notes. You write things down. Mary Kay Ash taught us that the faintest ink is better than the most retentive memories. So writing something down. And I also learned somewhere along the way that you're supposed to use purple ink because you remember it more when you write in purple. So go buy a pack of purple pens because you'll remember it better. I don't know. It's something about that. But I want you to write down on your paper to write down what would your wildest Mary Kay dream be. And you may not even know what is in store for you, but if fear was no object, fear wasn't a factor, money didn't matter, time didn't matter, what would be your wildest dream that you would love to accomplish with your Mary Kay business? And it might be a title if you know the titles, and it might just be, something in general because you don't know all the titles, and that's okay. But just your wildest Mary Kay dream, what you could do. And write that down. Because we have to first start with dreaming, right? We have to start with dreaming. And, your Mary Kay business is about so much more than lipstick. It's so much more than selling a product. It's really about enriching other people's lives. And so when you write down that dream of what you're going to shoot for, then you want to think something even bigger, right? So I want you to write down something even bigger than that. Bigger than that dream. And it doesn't have to be Mary Kay related. It could just be life related. Life related, a bigger dream of something you would want to write down. All right. So Mary Kay is the tool. It is a vehicle that can help you reach those dreams and goals. And, as kids and as little girls and as children, we dream and we know how to dream. We have to know how to dream even bigger than that, right? And so we have to dream more and more and more. And so that gets hidden in our everyday life and our job and the reality of being grown up, and we outgrow those dreams. And so we have to go back to finding a way to believe in our dreams again. Eleanor Roosevelt said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the power of their dreams." And so your dream is very powerful. And I'm going to, throughout the course of today, I'm going to recommend several different books, some of my favorite books. You know, when you, successful people are readers, they read. And so if you don't like to read, you get the audiobook and you listen to it, or you learn to like to read, because it's just about who you're surrounding yourself with. The people that are so successful in this world, it's not necessarily their talent. It's not necessarily their gifting. It is really so much more about how they think. It's how you think about life. It's how you think about what happens to you. And it's how you grow through those processes. And learning how people think, successful people think, is by reading. And one of my top 5 books that I love is called The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson. And that's where he talks about each person has been given a dream. You have been given a dream by God that is yours, and it's going to impact a lot of other people. And if you don't pursue your dream, then it affects a lot of other people in a negative way, that they don't get to pursue their dreams. And so that we don't realize that ripple effect that our life has on so many other lives. People you may not ever meet or know, but it has that effect, both in the good and bad. And so that book's awesome. The audiobook of it is excellent because it's actually him reading it. I like the audiobooks when it's actually the author reading it, you know, because you just hear the passion, and you can go get them at the library and listen to them, and they're fabulous. So The Dream Giver is awesome, but you have to be able to dream it first in your mind before you can make it happen with your body. And so we have all the research about that. And so one of the first things that I'm going to ask you to think about is something fun. And you have your big dreams that you just wrote down in your paper, but there's also those stepping stones along the way to that. So what is something extra that Mary Kay money is going to pay for your family in the next 6 months at the most? You know, it might be 1 month or 2 or 3 months. You know, I was talking with a consultant a couple months ago that came in because they needed new windows in their house, and they didn't have the $2,000 to go buy new windows. And so she started her business, and she earned the money within her first couple months of being able to put that in her house. And so that was her why. And so think about something in particular that's outside of your budget right now, whether it's a necessity or a splurge, something fun that would make you feel good, that your Mary Kay business can pay for, because you need to have a reason that you're working your business, and something that is bigger than just doing it for the sake of doing it. You know, there has to be something that's going to affect and impact other people as well. No, the Mary Kay Ash, our founder, said that we become old when we don't dream anymore. And so we have to learn how to keep dreaming and keep dreaming and keep dreaming. You made a very wise decision to have a Mary Kay business, because this is the very best career opportunity for women. It is the very best products on the market. It is the very best marketing plan. I mean, our marketing plan is taught at Harvard Business School, right? Yeah. It is a proven success system. Mary Kay's been around for 50 years. Last year we had $3 billion with a B in sales, and is totally debt-free. Wow. Now, I don't know many $3 billion companies that can say that, and that are true to the values. And so knowing that you can be very confident who you're a part of, that not only you're part of this Mary Kay family, you're part of this large company that does so much for us to make our jobs easier. And their number one goal is for you to be successful. Most companies out there, the thought process is for the company to be successful. But in Mary Kay, the thought process is for you to be successful. I remember hearing one of the Mary Kay employees tell a story one time about being on an airplane next to a very successful guy. He was the CEO of a company, and he found out that this person worked for Mary Kay. And the guy said, "Oh, I have a suggestion for you all of how you could make a whole lot more money." And so this Mary Kay employee said, "Okay, that's interesting. What would that be?" He said, "Well, if you would quit paying for all those trips and prizes and cars, the company would be a lot more successful and make more money." And that Mary Kay employee just kind of smiled and said, no, that's not true, because those people have worked very hard. They have earned those things. And that's part of why we are successful as a company, is because that's how we think. And so it's just know that when you come into Mary Kay, whether you come from a corporate background, whether you come from not being a business at all, whether, whatever the background is, Mary Kay, we do things a little differently. We think differently. We talk differently. Our value system, our priorities are different than other companies, than other businesses, than other places in corporate America, in a good way, I feel. And so first and foremost, I highly suggest that you all read your Mary Kay Ash autobiography that came in your starter kit. It is awesome. You can actually get the audio version of it on CD on Section 2 of your order form. So on the Section 2 order form, you can get the audio CD of it. There is also a really, really great video, and I had times have showed it at our new consultant training, but now it's online and you all can watch it. But if you go on Mary Kay in Touch, and if you go under education and go to the MK Media Center, it's where you can order CDs and things. Then in the education section, you go to MK, the MK Media section. There's different CDs and DVDs that you can order, which I highly suggest. There's also something called the Insight series, INCITE, that you can sign up for. And you can either opt for Mary Kay to mail you a couple training CDs each month, or they'll just email you a download, and you can download it, through your phone or your iPad. It's a little cheaper if you do the download because they're not paying for shipping. And it's only a few bucks a month. It's very inexpensive. But that gets you the training and just hearing from the people that are most successful in our company. But in that section, the MK Media, there's DVDs, and there's a DVD called Thinking Like a Woman. And it's like $3, I think. And actually, I just saw when I looked at the other day that you can do the download of it. So you don't even have to wait for the DVD in the mail. It'll download on your computer and watch it. And it's actually the first time ever in our history where Mary Kay made a movie of our company history. So it's called Thinking Like a Woman. Oh, Thinking Like a Woman. And so I highly suggest every consultant watch that. Get together with a couple of your Mary Kay girlfriends and download it and watch it, or watch it yourself. It was made, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago. So you'll see some of the attire and the fashion is a little dated. But it goes back in history, and actually Mary Kay Ash herself is in it. And it just tells her life story. It's kind of like a movie version of the autobiography. But it really helps you see, what makes us special and unique in Mary Kay is our story, is our founder. There's a lot of companies out there that are founded on ideas, but we have a person that spent her life serving women and poured her life into this company. And that's really what sets us apart. That's why we have the values and the systems. And she built a company that she knew would outlive her. She built a structure that she knew would go far beyond what she did. And because we don't have Mary Kay Ash with us anymore, the year I joined in 1997, she had her second stroke and she lost her speech. And that was the last seminar that she attended, and I joined right after. So I didn't get to go. So I actually never got to be in the same room as Mary Kay. But that's where it's so important for us to carry on her legacy. She passed the torch to us. And her heart was just to give women the same opportunities that she felt she didn't get to have in her lifetime. And that's what she wanted to do. And so many people sacrificed so much to build this business. And so I could not be more proud to represent this company. And so you have to know where you came from, right? And so, they talked about in the corporate world, they say that culture eats strategy for lunch. Mm-hmm. And that means that your culture trumps everything else. And people spend lots and lots of money and hire lots and lots of specialists to try to come close to having a culture like we already have at Mary Kay. And it's because of the people who on their knees built this company, and we get to stand on the shoulders of those giants and be able to appreciate the foundation that they built. And so just know that you have a great history behind you and you have a great future ahead of you. Our unit has definitely been very successful because of the incredible women that we're a part of. We do not apologize for our excellence. We are very proud to be at the top of our national area and the top in this area and the top in the state. And it's really because the women have worked hard and they have pursued their dreams and they have gone after that. And so know, because you are in the Rachael Bullock unit and you are in the Rachael Bullock national area, people are watching you. People are looking at you. They're noticing what you're wearing and what you're saying and what you're doing. And so I do want us to make sure that we are representing Mary Kay in the right way. And we are upholding that image and those values because people are looking at us and they do notice. And so I know I'm not worried about that at all. I remember being a brand new consultant. When I started Mary Kay, I was a college student in nursing school. Had never worn makeup, had never been around the product at all. I was getting married, and my best friend's mom sold Mary Kay. And I was the person that back when high school, so you were in high school, I was not long out of high school, and I had sold Avon. Not really, because I wasn't old enough, but I took up orders for another lady. And so then she gave me, free stuff. And I couldn't use the products. I was allergic to them, so I, bought other stuff and everything. And so when we would do these, my friend's mom would do like makeovers for us with Mary Kay for prom and things like that. I was the person that sat at the table and was like, y'all don't buy Mary Kay, it's too expensive. It's cheaper through Avon. I can get that same color. That was me. So she was very smart and waited till I turned 18. And so I was getting married, and I said, will you help me with my makeup, because I didn't wear any makeup. And so, of course, she sat me down, and we had like 30 minutes where I hadn't eaten. So she's feeding me a bowl of cereal. She was like a second mom to me, and she's doing my makeup, and she just picked up her car. So her car was in the driveway, and I was like, wait, you just got a car? What? And so I said, well, that sounds great. Sure, sign me up. I don't have any money, though. So she went and met my mom, facialed my mom, and, encouraged my mom to help me get started. So my parents supported me in getting started in my business, and that was all while I was in nursing school. I was living 12 hours away from home, and so my parents helped me start the business, and it was something that was fun and flexible. I didn't do anything for, let's see, I signed up June 30th as my anniversary of Mary Kay, which you don't realize how significant that is until much later. My director and recruiter she said, well, I'll come down there and train you, because I was living in North Carolina. She's like, we're going to vacation in South Carolina, so I'm sure it's on the way home. We'll just stop by and train you. It was like 12 hours out of her way to come train me. But she did, and I got my two neighbors. We were in married student housing, so I got my two other neighbors of the other married couples to come, and we did makeovers, and there wasn't a director in my area, and so I drove an hour each way. So it was like in July and August we got married, so I didn't hold my first party till September, from June all the way till September, and that's when I held my first party. But I drove an hour back and forth each way to my unit meetings, and it was my stress relief time in the midst of my crazy nursing school schedule. And I did a party about one a week on Saturday morning, and that was all the time that I had to work my business, was that Monday night and Saturday morning. And so, I would bribe my guests to come with me to my Monday night meeting by telling them I would buy them Chick-fil-A, because there wasn't a Chick-fil-A in our town, but there was one next to the meeting where we were. Okay, so I was like, I'll buy you Chick-fil-A if you come. It's like a 4-hour time commitment, because we drove an hour up there, and we were there for 2 hours, and drove an hour back. We got home like 11 o'clock at night. It was late. But we listened to our cassette tape of the Mary Kay opportunity on the way up there, and then they would end up signing up, and so we listened to the new consultant orientation tape on the way home on our inventory. So we made the best use of our time. But I remember my first skincare class was disastrous. It was terrible. I had that hostess of my very first party was Meg Grantham, who's one of my Offspring sales directors that you all will meet at seminar if you haven't already. She lives in Maine. And it was a crazy party. One lady broke out in hives at my party, the first party, and she had milk that she was dabbing on her face because it helped get rid of the swelling and the redness. I had another lady that sat over here, and she talked through my whole party because she brought her like 10-year-old daughter, so she explained everything that I said the whole time during the party. So I don't know, but somehow people bought stuff, and the hostess still recruited, and she's still with me today. She could tell you some stories about my history. But I remember a new consultant. I remember not knowing what I was doing, being nervous, being scared, being frustrated, wanting to say, forget it, it's not worth it. I didn't come into Mary Kay planning to have a full-time career, but of course that's what I found, and that's what I love. And I just fell in love with the company, fell in love with the people, and just really put myself in the environment that I could learn and grow. I think that's one of the things I did do right. I did a lot of things not right. But I did do right. If I listened to my tapes that became CDs, I remember when we first got personal website pages, and it was so exciting. When we first got Mary Kay in touch, because we didn't have that back then, and I was explaining to my recruiter, my sales director, like why she needed to get a Mary Kay website. And she couldn't understand why it was a big deal. But it's just it's so fun for those stories. So the cool thing at Mary Kay is that we have all been there. Okay, the longer you're in Mary Kay, the more stories you have of everything that you did wrong or things that didn't go according to plan. So, every experience, every appointment that you hold, it's either, a learning experience or it's a great experience, or it's one that's going to be a story that you're going to be able to tell someday, okay? When you're removed from it, it's a lot more funny than when you're in the midst of it. So just know that we have all been there. I didn't start at this place. I had to start in the trenches, and I had to learn, and I had to grow, and I had to go through trial and error just like everyone else does. And that's what we all have to go through. And I think that was an important part of why Mary Kay built this company, is she wanted everyone to start at the same place, so that we could have integrity and we could have authenticity to say, I've been where you are, I've been in your shoes, I've walked through that, I felt that way, I was frustrated too, here's what I have found. And so knowing that there is a proven success system. You don't get to be successful for 50 years by accident, right? It is a proven success system. And so trust the marketing plan, trust the company, and know that it works. What's the secret? You want a secret? There is no secret. The secret is that you trust the marketing plan, okay? And you have to know that it works, and you have to believe that it works. And even when you don't see it working, you have to know that it does work. And the most important thing to decide right now is there's only one way that you fail a Mary Kay business. One way. The only way that you fail a Mary Kay is if you quit. Yeah. That's it. The only way you fail. Okay, Mary Kay Ash said her knees were the bloodiest of all because she fell down more times than anyone else. She failed forward to success just like we do. You learn how to do things right by doing things wrong sometimes, okay? So if you decide right now that I'm not going to quit, that I am committed to this business, then everything works a lot better, right? When someone says, I'm not going to join your team right now, or I can't host a party right now, or whatever, you're not thinking, oh, well, never going to happen. Well, no, next month, next year. I've had people that join my team 10 years after I asked them, okay? But when you see through the lens of, I'm committed to doing this and making this work and not quitting, then those things are easier to take, right? Because it's not all dependent on what happens or doesn't happen today. You're able to see that big picture and able to see long term. So if you make that decision right now, people don't go out and open a Starbucks and spend, $500,000 easily, and then 3 weeks in say, that didn't work, forget it. No, right? They have to work at it, and usually that takes them 3 to 5 years before they see any money profits, okay? Any. And so you have to think through a business mindset with your Mary Kay business. Now, thank goodness it's not hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, right? And you can make a profit faster, but you do have to look at it through the business side, not the emotion side. And so we say often in Mary Kay that Mary Kay is mathematical. It is mathematical and magical, okay? So it's mathematical because you have to know the numbers. And if you know these numbers and you have comfort in these numbers, you won't find yourself frustrated if you know the numbers. And so these are the numbers. You work these numbers. They will make you money. They will keep you in business. And it takes emotion out of the equation. As women, we're emotional, and so someone says no, or they don't buy anything, or they return something, we get emotional. I still get emotional. It hurts my feelings when someone rejects, what I want to offer them. And so I have to remember, no, this is a business, right? When you go through the drive-thru at McDonald's and they say, would you like to upsize that? And you say, no, thank you. Do they cry and go, oh, I'm terrible at my job, I'm quitting? No, they don't take that personally, right? They're trained. This is what they say. And then if the person says no, it's like, okay, your total's this much, right? Do you want fries with that? No, yes, it doesn't matter. It's their job. That's what our job is. Okay, here is a script. Here is the system. Here's the activities that you do. The results will be there if you work the right numbers and if you know the numbers and you do expose yourself to learning and growing and continually getting better. So the numbers that you can always count on, that you can take to the bank. Number one, half of everything you book will hold. Half will hold. So half of every booked and well-coached appointment will hold. So anything that you get a date and a time and you coach her, you send her a reminder card and you send her a thank you card and you follow up with her and you do those steps, half of those appointments will hold. Okay? You ever been to a doctor's office where they're overbooked? Ever been to an airline where they're overbooked, right? Every business in the world overbooks. So if you want to be successful and you know that, okay, my goal is one party a week, how many are we going to book? 2, right? You're going to book 2. And so always, 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 no matter how great of a job that you do, or it's going to be that 50% if you do everything right. Okay? If your number is higher than that, then maybe there's some tweakings that need to happen. If you're booking and 75% of what you're booking is rescheduling or moving, then that's where we make some adjustments, okay? The second number that you can 100% know is that half of the confirmed guests will show up, whether it's to a party, to your debut, to your unit meeting, to a guest event. Half of the confirmed guests, not just the people that arrive, but the people that you invite, but the people that said, I will be there, half will be there. Okay? So if you book 1, there's a good chance you have 0, right? So always overbooking. And then the third number is that 1 out of every 4 you share the business opportunity with will join your team. 1 out of every 4. That you sit down with her face to face, go through the marketing plan, show her the information, ask the closing questions. 1 out of 4 will join. Now, it's not always going to be no, no, yes, no, no, yes, no, no, yes, right? No, it's not going to be that way. Our national sales director, Deb Pike, tells a story of being $1 million director, extremely successful, and they ran a promotion to do 100 sharing appointments in the month. And guess what? She did 57 in a row with no yeses. 57. She was good. She's good at what she did, okay? I don't know that I would have made it to 57, okay? I would have probably gotten upset with some people. But 57, but guess what? Number 58 and the next 17 straight said yes. So you have to stick with it long enough for the numbers to work. If you quit on number 10 that said no, you never see the yeses. So again, you look at it through the lens of, I'm going to keep going. So those are the 3 numbers that you have to know. The cosmetics part of our business is easy. Eyeshadow goes on your eyes, lipstick go on the lips. I mean, that's simple. There's the things you learn. What we really are in the people business. It's really in the relationship business. So it's building relationships and working the numbers at the same time. Okay, so it's doing both of those things. Building the relationship and working the numbers. Now, if you just go work the numbers to check people off and you never make any connections, that's not going to work either. Okay, this is a relationship. People buy from you because you make them feel special, you make them feel beautiful, you make a connection with them. So it's all about building that relationship, which takes time. Mary Kay talked about that our symbol is the bumblebee, right? She chose the Mary Kay bumblebee as one of our important symbols because she found the story that aerodynamically the bumblebee should not be able to fly. Because all the smart scientists that studied it and all the super, super brilliant people looked at the bumblebee and said that its body is too heavy and its wings are too small and it can't fly. But the bumblebee doesn't listen to the smart scientists, right? The bumblebee listened to its creator who made it to fly. And so Mary Kay Ash said, that's why as women, we don't listen to the people that are supposedly so smart and know everything. We listen to the voice inside of us and know what we're supposed to do. And that's what we follow, is what's in our hearts, is that bumblebee. One of the things that sets us apart, Mary Kay, is our image. We've been to many different Mary Kay events at different places, and oftentimes we're there with other companies. And one of the things that when Mary Kay started this business in 1963, women were trying to be successful in a man's world, and were dressing like men and wearing their pantsuits and going to work. And Mary Kay said, I am proud that God made me a woman. And so I am proud of that femininity. And so our dress and our attire is that we wear a dress or a skirt, when we're representing the company. Now you don't have to be in a full business suit every time, but you get that Mary Kay beauty coat that you can get from Mary Kay in Touch, and you look very professional, and pick up a black skirt. You probably have one in your closet, or you can find one or borrow one. And that's your uniform. You can wear that to everything. It doesn't have to be something that you spend a lot of money on, but when you look good, you feel good. And I'm going to read you a story from the Mary Kay autobiography of where she emphasizes this story a little bit. She says she's talking to a consultant. Of course, this is back in the 1970s when our basic skincare system, our entire product line would cost you about $20, okay? But this customer, this consultant, said she had never had a $100 skincare class. She'd been with the company for 3 months. She'd been training, and she was just frustrated. So Mary Kay said to her, you must feel confident. Before your next skincare class, I want you to do your hair and do your nails. If you don't have a dress, that makes you feel like $1,000,000, then go buy one. Mary Kay said, I had no idea the effect that statement would have on her. Mary Kay told her, if you have just one dress in your closet that makes you feel terrific and one that wins compliments for you, wear that dress to every class until you have extra money to buy another one. And so the woman and her husband have been enduring financial difficulties, and she hadn't bought any new clothing for 3 years. But she left the training class, she obeyed Mary Kay Ash, and went and bought a new dress. And that night she had her first $100 class. So she was so excited. She decided that if a new dress was the answer, she should buy another one before her second class. And so she did. And on the evening of her second class, she also sold $100, over $100 at her party. She repeated it for the third class and had another $100 party. All in all, she had bought 3 new dresses and had 3 $100 parties. On the following week at the meeting, she told Mary Kay, I found the secret. You have to buy a new dress. Of course, that wasn't the secret at all. But it was that she was confident in her appearance, and so we are in the beauty business. People are going to make a decision by looking at you. And so your hair and makeup should be current. If you haven't had a compliment on your hair in the last couple months, then it might be do something different with it. Find someone that's really great with trendy hair or hair color and haircuts, and do something unique. Switch up your makeup. Look around at other Mary Kay women and say, oh, she does her eyes really good, and say, hey, will you help me? Give me a lesson on eyes. Look for those people. You can go find 1 or 2 really great outfits that look really sharp and professional. You don't go walk through the mall and the girls behind the makeup counter are not in tank tops and cut off shorts, right? No, they wear their special jackets, and that's why we have that at Mary Kay. So, because when you walk into a party, the best dressed person commands attention, and it commands the respect. And so you look like you know what you're doing, even if you don't yet. You look like you do, okay? So most important thing, number 1, is you have to be your own best customer, right? Use all the products yourself. Why would you use someone else's eyeshadow or someone else's lipstick? Because then you're putting money in someone else's pocket. So it is 100% important that head to toe, you are all Mary Kay. And if you can't get a lot of product, then at the very least, you get everything that you're going to use for yourself. Because that's the most important thing. You get rid of everything from your purse and from your bathroom. I remember I was like, well, I have this eyeshadow. It's pretty close. So if someone asks me what color it is, I'll just tell them it's this color in Mary Kay because it's really close to it. So I didn't always listen to what I was supposed to do. But you advertise your products. Get your family wearing the products. Go switch out your husband's shaving cream and give him the Mary Kay shaving cream, okay? He's not allowed to use another one. So you have to be advertising for the products. So that is the most important. I encourage you as a consultant to try something new every week. Like pull a new product off your shelf and try it each week. I was also guilty. I wore the same lipstick for like the first 2 years in my business because that's all I knew how to do was this one lipstick and the same 2 eyeshadows, okay? Now, I became a director doing that, but I probably could have done it faster, if I knew more. So go experiment, pull things out, use them for yourself, and don't be afraid to pull it off of yourself, out of your inventory, because you will not sell it if you're not using it, because you want to be able to know, if someone asks you, what does this color look like? What does this product feel like? You have tried it, so you're familiar with it. That's the best way that you learn the products is to use them. Our Mary Kay family tree. We have a Mary Kay family tree. So at the first, we are in a division. In Mary Kay, there's 5 different divisions, and they're not geographical at all. They're just based on the national sales directors. So these nationals are this division, and so all their areas are in that division. And so they basically just try to keep all the divisions to have an even number of people so that when we have seminar, we can't have all 1 million consultants at the same time. So, you can only hold 10 to 15,000 at a time. And so that's why they have seminar by division. And so we are in the Pearl division. So when you're looking at what seminar that you attend, we attend the Pearl seminar. And so that's who we're in. And so you'll meet other consultants. There's even within your town, there's probably all the divisions represented. But that way, we're in the Pearl division. Our national sales director, who is our kind of like, she's my Mary Kay mama, she's your Mary Kay grandma, I would say, is Deb Pike, and she's our national sales director. She's an incredible woman. She lives in Omaha, Nebraska, and she's just awesome. You'll get to meet her when we have a seminar, and we also have a retreat with her in the fall. And then her senior national is Jan Harris, who is actually #1 in the entire Pearl division. So we get to be a part of that legacy. Just like I said, you come from a line of champions. And so we are destined for that champion and that excellence. And that's what we expect from each other. That's what I expect from my people. That's what I expect from myself, because that's who we are. And so Deb Pike is our national sales director. Jan Harris is her national sales director. Of course, our unit is the Rachael Bullock unit. If you're in my unit, or your sales director is within your unit. And then you have your recruiter, and that's who team that you signed up on. So that person is your recruiter, and she's there to encourage you and support you in your business. The sales director's job is really to provide the training, the education, the mentorship for you in your business. And then you have, of course, you are the consultant, and then there's customers. And those are kind of the different groupings of people that you work with in Mary Kay. There's the customers, then there's the consultants, and then there's recruiters, those who have team members on their team. Then you have your director, which is what I am as a sales director, and then the national sales director. And so our goal right now, and our goal is to be a national sales director in the next year. And so that's where it requires us, to become a national sales director, you develop 20 sales directors. And so right now we have 7 of those 20 to become a sales director, to become a national sales director. We actually are the only the only direct sales company that offers a retirement package, which is pretty amazing. That at the national sales director level, those are your Mary Kay millionaires. If you think about it this way, as a consultant, consultants make about $5,000 to $25,000 a year. Okay, as a consultant, you can expect probably about $5,000 to $25,000 a year. As a sales director, because you have the extra responsibility and leadership, you make about $5,000 to $25,000 per month. Now, that's kind of a nice jump, right? Per year or per month, so about $5,000 to $25,000 per month. And then as a national sales director, they make probably $5,000 to $25,000 a week. That's the people. Yes, that would be nice, right? I would like to figure out how to spend $100,000 a month paycheck. We would figure it out, wouldn't we? We would learn. And so that kind of helps you put people think through that categories. What I want you to know that Mary Kay is a skills-based business, okay? It is all about your skill, which means you can learn. You can learn just like any other job out there. You go to school to be a doctor. You go to school to be a hairdresser. You should go to school to be a mom, right? There's not a school for that. But you go to school to learn a job. And so part of being here is Mary Kay University. This is part of your training. There is training, and it's ongoing training. Any professional career has ongoing education. They have continuing education hours that they have to have every year, every few years, to be able to maintain their same level and to grow. And so Mary Kay is the same way. And so our training takes several forms. Of course, we have the online classes that are available to you through my website, Mary Kay's website. And there's a lot of things under the education section of Mary Kay. We have usually weekly, or right now it's every other week, unit meetings. And so those are really important. As important as putting gas in your car, because if you don't put gas in your car, it will not go, right? It will eventually die. And if you don't go to your Mary Kay businesses, your business, or your Mary Kay trainings, your business will eventually die. And so being a part of that is really important. And then we have usually about, every few months, depending on the area where you live, there's usually a larger event, more like a citywide or an area-wide workshops where national sales directors might speak, things like that. And so just kind of your director, your local director will keep you in touch with that. If you're not local to me or to your sales director, then you get adopted. And so you get to have an adopted Mary Kay mama, which is kind of fun. So you have someone that adopts you and takes you under wing. It's a neat part of our company. And then we have 3 major events through the year, okay? And these are your really, really important. I compare them to the oil change for your car, right? Because if you don't change the oil in your car, the engine eventually blows up. And so you have to change the oil, and that's what this is like. And so one of those is Seminar. That's in Dallas in July. And that is because in Mary Kay, our fiscal year runs from July 1st to June 30th. So from July 1st to June 30th is our Mary Kay year. And so in July, we have our big celebration, and we get to go to Dallas. And that is the most incredible experience you will ever have. I absolutely cannot recommend it enough. Whether you're a brand new consultant or you've been a Mary Kay a long time, it is the best investment you can make, is to get to go to Dallas and get to see the big picture and see the company headquarters. And, the training is off the charts incredible. And just the camaraderie, you get to meet these other women, your Mary Kay sisters from all over the country, which is really exciting. And of course, Mary Kay puts on an incredible show that is so much fun. So that's coming up. And then in the fall, we have a fall retreat. We go to Kansas City with our national Deb Pike. It's the end of October. Right now it's the last weekend of October. And then in the spring, in January, there's a conference for sales directors. So just for those who are in the leadership, and that we get to go to a different city every year. It's kind of fun. This year it's in Nashville, which I'm very excited about, or 2015. And then in the spring and March is a career conference. And so those are your three major events for if you're a sales director. And those are your non-negotiables. If I could make them required, I would. They're not, of course, because you're an independent business, and so it's your own choice. But they're required for success. It's required to put yourself in the space of people who think differently and are going to teach you and train you. So those are really important to go ahead and put them on your calendar right now. We know the dates. They're on Mary Kay in Touch. So if you go under Mary Kay Touch, under events, you can see the dates for the whole next year. And so you'll know, and I post them in the group as well. And so way ahead of time, what to pre-plan, so that family trips and events don't get in the way of that. So you can plan ahead for those. As a new consultant, you have three main goals. Okay, these are your first three goals as a new consultant, and they all start with P. So the 3P goals. The first P is your perfect or power start. Perfect or power start. A perfect start means that you do 15 faces in a 2-week period. And a power start means you do 30 faces in a 30-day period. Okay, perfect start is 15, power start is 30. And that's your practice faces. Yeah, that's where you're going to practice your business. And you set the dates for that. Whenever you do your first face is when you get to set up what that looks like. And so, whether it's, May 10th through June 10th or whatever that looks like. So you pick that 30-day period, okay? Number 2 is your pearls of sharing. I do have a handout for this. Pearls of sharing. You can find them. I tried to put them in order. There you go. The second one there.
What did you say for the 2?
For what?
For the 2.
Number 2 is pearls of sharing.
Oh, okay.
Pearls. Your pearls. Pearls of sharing. Yep. Thank you. And so your perfect or power start is how you learn to put the product on people's faces and learn how to let them try the product, and you learn about different skin tones and colors and skin types and things. And so that's going to be your training with the product. And then your second is your training of sharing the marketing plan, and that's where your pearls of sharing come in. And so these are your pearls. When you do 3 practice sharing appointments, you earn earrings. 6, you earn your bracelet. And 9, you earn your necklace. Yay! And so there's a script right here, word for word. Now, one of the most important things that we teach in Mary Kay are scripts. Okay, people don't go work a job and they're automatically born knowing what to say when they answer the phone. There's a receptionist at a law office or whatever, right? They have to be taught what to say. In Mary Kay, we are taught what to say. These are magic words. I have tried it the Rachael Bullock way, when I just make it up and say whatever I'm going to say, and it doesn't really work. Okay, so I can promise you that if you use the scripts, they will work. And it will become your words. And it will sound funny at first, but the more you practice it, the more it becomes more natural to you. And you can, add your own voice inflection in there. But this is your pearls of sharing, and this is where you invite some of your friends to help you learn about the business of Mary Kay. And so this is what you say to them. And you're going to set up some 3-way calls if they're long distance, or some coffee appointments if they're in person. And that's when we sit down and they just get to practice. And you get to hear me share the business plan of Mary Kay with them. And then they have the option to join your team. And then what will happen, remember, what did I say? The numbers you can take to the bank, that 1 and 4 will probably join your team. So odds are pretty good. If we do 9 of these, you're probably going to have 2 team members out of it, right? And so you want to think about who are women in your life that you really respect, that you really admire, that are already successful in another area of their life. Whether they're a great stay-at-home mom, they're president of the PTA, they're, excellent as a student in college. It doesn't mean that they're president of a company. It just means that they're successful. They're great at organizing the Bible study at church or whatever that is. But people that are already good at something, that have integrity, that you would love to have on your team. And this is what you're going to say to them, is this right here. We set up an appointment. You and I do those together. Once you've heard me do it 9 times, you're pretty confident that you can at least give it a shot on your own, and then you can learn from there, and that's the goal. It is key that they go on my website and they watch a video before we meet and do that feedback form as well, okay? So that's your second goal as a new consultant, is your pearls of sharing. And then the third goal is called profit level products. And that's the next sheet there. Profit level products. So first is perfect or power start. Number 2 is your pearls of sharing. And number 3 is profit level products. Profit level products in stock means that you have your products in stock. And profit level, if you're doing Mary Kay on a part-time basis, is about $3,600 wholesale. So $3,600 wholesale is a part-time profit level. $4,800 is a full-time profit level. Okay, so $3,600 wholesale is part-time. So that's for someone that's doing maybe between 1 to 2 parties a week. Okay, that's profit level is $3,600. $4,800 is the full store. Now this is what this shows like. This is how you can start with profit, start with products in stock, and stay on profit. So you can still make money. So if you held 2 parties a week at an average of $300, okay, we're going to talk more about the 60-40 split a little bit later. But this talks about that basically a full store for a part-time business, which is where most people start, a $3,600 product investment, you could completely have it paid off in 18 weeks. Now, I don't know many places you can go start a business and have it totally paid for within your first couple months, right? What is that? 6 months? Not even 5 months. About five months. All right, that's really, really good. 4.5 really. So that's just from 2 parties a week. It's totally paid for. So when you get product on your shelf, you're in business. If you have the choice, can you imagine going to the makeup counters at the mall, and this counter has all the products out, and this counter has catalogs laying on a table? Which one do you think is going to sell a lot more stuff, right? Is the one that has everything, okay? Y'all have been to stores where you go and shop and you're like, it's really picked over. There's not much here. And you leave, right? And maybe the next time you're probably less likely to go to that store. Like, last time I went, they didn't have very good selection, okay? It's that first impression. And so when you have products in stock, it's one of the most important investments, the most important choices, having product in stock to support your business, because it sets you apart. It makes you successful. It gives you confidence, and it saves you money, and it saves you time. And knowing that you can completely have it paid off if you're willing to work for it, if you're willing to do the work. If you don't have product in stock, it's going to take you a lot longer before you see a profit. So if you really want to make that profit right away, finding a way to get some products in stock is important. And we can talk more about that, and that's where I sit down with each of you individually, and we go through your options, we go through the bonuses and things like that. But even those who've been doing Mary Kay for a little while, if you're kind of just looking to ramp up your business now, it's a good idea to revisit it, to make sure that what is your goal? Is your goal 1 party a week? Is your goal 3 parties a week? Does your product support that? And so it's important to go back and look at that. I've had a couple of times in my history that, my inventory had kind of gotten down, and then I really wanted to ramp up my business. And so I invested more to get it back to the profit level that it needed to. So, if you're wanting to move into leadership, become a sales director, earn a car within your first, 6 months, a year, you want to move quickly, $4,800 wholesale is what you need to have in your store. If you're wanting to do this just part-time on the side with a little bit here and there, that's a $3,600 wholesale. If you work really hard really hard, that's 6 hours a week, okay? 2 parties, that's not that hard, right? Really hard. But if you work consistently, you'll have it totally paid for, okay? And most of we have 0% interest card. You put it on, you have it 0% for a year. It's totally paid for before that. And we're going to get into money management before it. But the bottom line is, when you have it, you sell it. When you have it in stock, you're confident to go to your parties. You're confident to go to your appointments. You're confident to approach your family and friends and tell them, not only do I have a better product than what you're using, I have better service because I'm going to give it to you right away. And it's frustrating, when people want something, you don't have it. I did. I went to that first party and somehow people still bought stuff. And I remember 4 people, I think, wanted the skincare set, and I had 2. So I had to sit there and go, which 2 people do I get to give it to? And which 2 people have to wait? And that was not a fun decision. I cried on the way home. Like, I don't like Mary Kay. This is not fun. Because you could tell she was disappointed. Why does my friend get it and I don't get it, That's not a good feeling. And so the next week, I turned around and invested to get to a full store because I saw the need for it. But it wasn't my first order. So I didn't get all the bonuses, okay? But I still got there. And so it's a very important decision. The sooner that you can get on profit level means that you can pay yourself. That's what that means, okay? If you don't have profit level product, then you pay your business before you pay yourself. So it's a while before you see an income. But when you have profit level, you can pay yourself a paycheck and pay off your investment and pay your business all at the same time. And we'll talk more about that a little bit later. So one of the things homework that I'm going to give you all is to make what's called your dream book. And Brittany's going to pass around a sheet for that. And this is where we talked about you get to dream, right? And so, there's some suggestions of some pictures to put in your dream book. This is things that you're going to constantly add to it, but it's all about visualizing what do you want your life to look like, okay? Too many people just end up with what they end up with because all they think about is what they don't want to happen, and that's what happens, right? Or what they don't want in their life, and that's what they get. So instead of imagining what you do want your life to look like, and it doesn't just have to be physical things. It can be, so much more than that, but just opportunities that you want to have for your business in that dream book. And so putting pictures in there everywhere I go, I'm constantly cutting out pictures and putting them on little posters and putting them in books that I carry around with me is that dream book of what does that look like. And so this is part of your homework is to really create that dream book, put things together of what you want to look like. Yeah, Pinterest is a great place for that. Exactly. That's a good idea. You get lots of great tips off of Pinterest. So, knowing what that looks like. The difference between a goal and a dream is that a goal has a timeline. A goal has a specific date. Okay. Now, the goal doesn't change. The date sometimes does. I've had the goal to be a national sales director for quite a long time since I started, really 17 years ago. Okay. The date's changed a few times, but the goal hasn't changed. Okay. And so I have had those dreams that have gotten to come true, and involve your family in those dreams and those goals. Get your kids on board with that. My kids were little. We took a Disney trip, and my boys were 2 the year that we were earning it because I'm trying to remember how old they were. They were 5 when we went. So they were like 3 or 4 the year leading up to it. And they knew that every time Mommy left the house, we were going to get money so we can see Mickey Mouse, they knew that. And they're like, okay, Mom, you're going to go get money so we can Mickey Mouse. They knew that whole year that we worked really hard so that we could go on that trip, and so it involved them in it. So it's not just Mom's Mary Kay business. It becomes the whole family, that everyone is involved in a part of that and setting those goals together. Okay, I have a fun packet for you all. That's yes, let me hand me one. This is our new orientation packet. Dun, dun, dun. I posted these to the Facebook group as well, so hopefully you guys can have those. But and I'm going to still need to make a few changes on it today, as I realized after I got them printed. But this is what every new consultant will get. So as a recruiter, if you're someone that's consistently building your business and recruiting people, I'm going to give you several copies of these because I want you to have this to give someone the moment they sign up. Okay, so that they immediately have something to do, so that this is something that they immediately know what to go through. So this kind of tells about our family and our history, and then it has a series of checklists, okay? People like checklists, right? They like to know what to do, and so we've had a couple checklists on my website, and I'm going to be transitioning over to this. My website girl will hopefully get it all switched over this week, but I'm going to just walk you all through these checklists, and so if you're a seasoned consultant, there might be some things on here that you haven't done, and you can go back and still do them, but as a new consultant, this is what they'll get to do. So it should just be, second page. So everyone should look like this, right? And then we go to the second page, should be checklist number 1. There you go. All right, checklist number 1. So some things they can do while they're waiting for their starter kit to arrive. Take your odometer reading. If you haven't done that, go back and estimate what you think it was the day you signed up, okay? Because mileage is important. You know, it sends you to my website, setting up your orientation talk with your sales director, going on the Mary Kay in Touch website, getting connected on us with Facebook and Voxer. Voxer is my primary communication tool with consultants. And so make sure you download. It's a free app for your phone. Download that, and you get training messages that are excellent. Thepinkplan.com is a website that can help you make your business plan. That's really helpful. And then send me a headshot as well. You know, I just realized I think the pink plan is over here as well, so I need to change that. But I took another Linda Tupin's packet and added it with mine, and so there might be some overlap as I'm reading through this. Number 7, purchase a 3 to 5 section spiral notebook. This is important. This is like your brain in the spiral notebook, okay? You want to have at least 3 sections in there, because in section 2 is going to be where you literally dump out everyone that you know. A wedding list. If you are getting married, who is everyone that you would invite? You're going to put those people down there, okay? Anyone that has skin, you know, put all the females down, of course. Don't really need to put the males on there, but all the females. And this is something that you will probably never make it through, all of these. But you're just going to constantly be adding people to it as you meet people, as you see them in an event or on Facebook. You think, oh, I haven't talked to her, or I think she'd be great, or whatever. You're just going to constantly be adding people to this list in this section that you're going to go back to, and this is your prospect list. You know, I want you to know there is plenty of people. There's an abundance of people. You will never run out of people, okay? You cannot possibly ever ask every single person that you know, all right? Her name goes on this list if you're even an acquaintance. If she knows who you are, okay, she goes on this list. You know, I met a lady today at the ice cream store after school, you know, and we just kind of started chatting. I didn't even mention Mary Kay, because we were talking to the kids and things like that, but I started a relationship with her. I sent her a Facebook friend request. We're going to be friends on Facebook. You know, I'm going to see her again at school functions. So her name went in my book, okay, because it wasn't the opportunity right then to mention Mary Kay, but I knew I'm going to see her again, and so I'm going to build this relationship so that I can take it a step further with her, okay? But her name went on that prospect list, you know, so it's constantly still having people that you're adding to that list. You can complete your Color Confident certification training, and that's where you can go and there's a free training online that you can do that is excellent. I suggest that you do that before you order your business cards, because then you can print your Color Confident Certified on your business cards, okay? It'll automatically be added to your website. Here's a picture of my product label that I use. Hopefully y'all can kind of read it. I need to make that a little bit lighter. Yeah, you can kind of tell. But you can order your business cards and product labels. You always have a sticker on your product. Do not let a product leave your house without your sticker on it. Okay? You're throwing money away if you do. So always have your sticker on the product. And then you email Rachel's office at Gmail is what my assistant checks, and that's where you get your Mary Kay money bag as a new consultant. And then we go over here, and the next section is your training. We're talking about the education. On Mary Kay in Touch, there's education. On my website, there's education. You know, of course, plugging in with your local events as well. And then we have a YouTube video, and some of this, it says it's on my website, and it's not there yet because she's going to be putting it on there. But that's where your training comes in. This is where we talk about inventory and financing. If you'll look at it talks about, there's a couple different inventory options videos. I suggest that you definitely watch those or listen to a recording, and watch or listen along with who is your primary support person. You know, if you're married, it's going to be your spouse. Who is that important person in your life that's going to help you make that decision? They need to hear this information, not from you, but firsthand from the trained person along with you, okay? So if they're going to be involved in your decision of what you invest in your business, then they need to listen to that information. If you're a seasoned consultant, go back and listen to this again. Go back and watch the video. There's actually a new one on there that I posted, or this recording is National Sales Director Linda Tupin, but go back and watch that. There's a short and sweet video, or there's all the facts. So whether people want short and sweet or they want all the details, there's 2 different kinds of videos on there. But number 3, you'll see what most people do when they get their business started to get their products is they use a 0% business credit card. Now, I'm not a fan that you go get a credit card and you put a bunch of stuff on it. You know, I simply suggest a credit card just because it is a 0% interest. And you're not going to get that if you go get a bank loan. You know, anyone that starts a business goes and gets a loan at a bank, okay? You get a loan at a bank for your house. You get a loan at the bank for this. You know, you're going to treat this like a loan, but it's a 0%. And there's 3 different options on there through Mary Kay, through US Bank, or through fifththird.com that you can get a 0% card for 3 or for a year, you know, and then you can have that totally paid for, usually within half that time, if you're willing to work. All right. Once you place your order, you win that prize. Here's some frequently asked questions. Well, we say attend your weekly meeting, right? Miss 1 and you're sick. 2, you're dying, and 3, your business is dead. They said that Mary Kay Ash used to send a sympathy card to consultants after they missed 3 meetings because they figured that they were dead. She was a tough cookie, girl. She was strict. Strict, all right? She would send them a get well card after they missed 1, and then she'd send them a sympathy card after they missed 3 because she figured they were dead because that's the only reason they would miss. Pretty important, all right? Plug in daily. There is so much stuff in our brains and so many things that we got bombarded with from the TV and the news and the media and the newspaper and magazines and the people and the life that we have to control that 6 inches between our head. This is what makes you successful, is what you're thinking about. So think about what you're thinking about. Mary Kay in Touch, your email, your unit Facebook group, the Voxer messages that I post on there, really, really important. You'll see there's a place, Linda Tupin has a consultant Voxer training group that she posts things in, excellent messages. There's CDs that you can get from your director, and she'll give you plenty of CDs. I mean, I have hundreds of CDs. I am constantly listening to Mary Kay CDs all the time, and I mark my favorite ones and go back to them, and you'll develop people that are your favorite speakers that you want to listen to over and over again. And so, you know, just put those in there. And then really staying focused to managing your time. And that's where it comes from in your spiral notebook, right? This is the other 2 sections. So section 1 is your master weekly to-do list. This is your brain dump. This is where literally, whether it's on Sunday night or Monday morning or whatever, you set aside a time that you just dump out your brain onto paper, okay? These are the skills that are so important that you learn in Mary Kay that help you cope with life. You know, this is where Mary Kay is not just about lipstick and mascara and products, and it's about helping you live a better life. And how many times do you hear yourself saying, other people saying, I'm so overwhelmed, I have so much to do, I'm so busy. I've said it. I'm guilty of it many times. And so it's this master weekly to-do list. I myself was guilty. I didn't take the time to do it last night. And so guess what? Today did not go well because I did not dump my brain out on paper, okay? And so I felt scattered today of everything that I needed to do and what I was supposed to do and who I was supposed to call. Like, I felt all over the place because if I don't do this, it's a habit you have to develop, but it's very hard to function. And so it's important to have that master to-do list, or you just take everything out once a week, set aside a time that you're going to do it, and you dump it all out personally, for your business, professionally, everything. And then that's where you pull your 6 most important things list that you're going to focus on. And you pull, like it shows over here, you're going to separate between your high, your medium, and your low priority, which you'll see over here. You know, sample master to-do list. Here's some sample things that would be on your list, okay? So an example of a high is to call or text or private Facebook message blank number of people, all right? Now pick a number that's your goal. Don't just say, I need to text people. I need to invite people. Like, it's got to be a specific number because you have to feel that sense of accomplishment that you cross it off your list, okay? So contacting those people. Your medium would be, you know, setting up your home office or things like that, doing some of these checklists. Those are medium priority. And so knowing how to develop that. And here's some tips down here of how to develop your clientele, who to think about, who you're putting in that customer list. And like I said, you're constantly adding to it. And then here's your low priority things, some of the delegation. So this kind of gives you some examples, because I have people like, I don't know what to put in my to-do list. Well, there you go. There's some examples. And I promise you'll come up with a whole bunch more that you know to put to add to your list as well, okay? Here's your prizes. Prizes. As a Mary Kay consultant, and we love prizes, all right? So when you're brand new, you earn your Mary Kay charm bracelet. And you earn your perfect start charm when you complete 15 faces in your first month. and place your first product order. You earn your Power Start charm when you complete 30 faces in your first month and place a qualified order. Your Power Start Plus is when you complete your 30 faces in 30 days and you place a qualified order and you add your first team member. Yay! So that's your Power Start Plus charm. And then you get a bonus gift when you sell 25 items in 7 days with at least $300 or more, you earn a gift. All right. So that's it. As a consultant, these are fun prizes that you get to earn right away in your business. Okay. Then our second checklist talks about setting up your home office. You guys can read through those things. It's really important to start, optional is having a brain book where you're going to put like some of these papers and stuff that you're getting. That's really important. Over here, this is where I've got to fix this. It kind of got cut off, but it should say Power Start. I like that it says POW, though, because I think that's good. It's like POW, right? POW. All right, POW. This is your Power Start. And remember what I said about a scripts, right? Scripts make you money. Scripts work. Scripts are magic words. Magic words. And so this is exactly what you say. You practice it several times yourself and it'll flow through so it becomes easy. So this is exactly what you say in that script, all right? And you can adapt some of it for a text message as well. But really I find that your voice is the best. That's really the most powerful. And so and when you make some phone calls, call your director and check in with her, or Vox her and let her know how it went. Now, you might get a few objections from people that say, well, I don't wear any makeup, or I use whatever brand. Here's how you respond to that, right? I remember being like, oh, okay, bye. Because I was like scared. I didn't know what to say. Like, oh, well, never mind then. Don't worry about it. Okay, how do you respond? You practice. And so these booking objection scripts should be like taped everywhere, in your bathroom mirror, in your car. So make yourself little note cards that you study. I mean, it's just learning these scripts. I mean, I have consultants that say to me, well, it just rolls off your tongue. It's because I've said it 10,000 times, okay? I wouldn't start off that way, right? Day one, it didn't roll off my tongue. I had note cards that I had to use, and I had to practice and get better, and it's still getting better. And so here's some of your common objections and how you can adjust to those. This is how you organize your products after your inventory, your first order comes in. And down here are some great tools that can help you organize your products. And so it goes through some of those with you as well, and helps you organize. Your company has some great products and systems that you can use to help you be organized, which are really good. All right. It also lists in there like the demos, so product demos that you want to open, that you want to make sure that you have open. And so you definitely want to look at those product demos that are really, really important. And then working with your hostesses, okay? We're talking about our hostesses. And so this is where you want to work with your hostesses. Of someone that's going to host a party, because our first goal is to book our parties, right? It's a whole lot easier to do 5 parties of 6 people to get your 30 faces than to do 30 individual facials, okay? It takes a lot less time. Now, you're probably going to have some of both, and that's okay, but focusing on the party is the best use of your time. And this is a real easy hostess plan. There's not a set Mary Kay hostess plan. You get to do whatever you want to. This hostess plan is the one that I suggest. I find it easy to work with. And it's a 75 for 35. And she gets $75 for the product for $35. If she has 3 friends there who don't have a consultant, over 18 do not have a consultant, she gets 75 for 35. If she has 5 guests, then she gets 100 for 35. Okay. So like I call it like a bonus 25 for 5. And then you can do a halfback free for outside orders, so however many outside. So if she collects outside orders for people before she comes, if she collects $100 in outside orders, your profit on that is $50, right? Did you have to do any work for those outside orders? No, right? So I'm going to split my profit with her. So if I'm going to profit $50, I'll give her $50 in free product. It costs me $25, okay? So that I net profit $25. So whether she gets an order for $20 or gets orders for $200, if she wants to get free product, outside orders is the way to do it, okay? Because that's easy money for me and it's easy money for her, okay? So I reward those outside orders. And then you can do a bonus gift when she holds her appointment on the original day. and a bonus gift when she gets you the guest list ahead of time as well. Both of those things, once you get bookings from your bookings, they will be taken care of. Because we play a game at your party that gets you the guest list, because we play a referral game, and we play a game at the party called Deal or No Deal, where they get to pick their bonus gift. And so both of those things, if you're brand new and you're booking people for the first time, then you're just going to tell them they get a bonus gift. But when you're getting a booking from your booking, you're playing the games at the parties that automatically take care of those things for you, which makes it really nice. I always like to give half price items as gifts or empty compacts, because if you give her an empty compact, what's she have to do? Buy stuff to fill it up, right? That's how you think smart, all right? Empty compact. Because you can't do much with an empty compact except buy makeup to go with it. And no one wants an empty compact, right? They're all going to buy colors to go in it. The key is, and as I talked about here, the Hostess plan, $75 a product, only cost you $37.50, right? Because it's half. She's going to pay you $35. So your only, cost is $2.50. Even if she has 5 people there, your only cost is $15. Okay? You have to be excited to book a party for what you would book a party for. Like, I would book a party for $100 for $35. I mean, that sounds like a lot, okay? And most anyone can come up with $35 to get $100 in step. And guess what? She will hog tie her friends to make sure they're there so that she has her 5 people. And a party with 5 people is even more option for success than 3 people, right? So, you want a good incentive that's going to make her get those 5 people there. And then the key is if you give her a half price item, that number is not included. She can't pay for her half price item with her 75 or 35 because that messes up your money management. Okay, so she pays for that separately. So just knowing that. And then you always charge sales tax on the full price as well. Coaching your hostess is really important. Mary Kay Ash said a party worth booking is worth coaching. So coaching your hostess is really, really important. Of giving her guest list, sending her a thank you note, giving invitations, telling her what to say when she invites her guests, or you're texting them and inviting them for you. You can make a little text invite that you can send out to your guest, or to her guest. Send her a thank you note ahead of time before the party. Talk her through refreshments. Talk her through having no kids. For every kid there is at your party, you subtract $100. All right, not fun. So figure out a game plan for her and her friends to not have kids there. All right, and then if you're very tech savvy, there's tools on Mary Kay in Touch that you can do Evite, and you can create a Facebook invite if you want, Facebook event. But your most successful is texting an individual invitation or private Facebook message and handing out some postcards. I still really like the postcard, because people get an invitation, they put it up on their fridge, they put it by their calendar, like it's a tangible thing. How many messages do we get a day, right? How many Facebook invitations to stuff do we get? It gets lost in the shuffle, but a piece of paper doesn't. And so I really like to, yes. All right. And here we go. Checklist number 5, before your first party or facial. Watch the skincare videos. I'm not going to spend a ton of time tonight on the skincare class because I've recorded everything about that, from how to pack for it, how to set up for it, what to take with you, how to pack your party, and how to do the party. So you can literally go watch it, take notes, make your own cue cards for yourself during your parties. It is not a perfect party. If I waited to do a perfect party, then I would never have a video of it, but it's a good start, okay? Set up your ProPay so you can accept credit cards. Mary Kay will show you how to do that. Observe a party. Use the instructor's guide that comes in there. Mine is a little bit different. The one that comes in the party that I teach is a little different than the one that comes in the company book. So you're going to get to develop your own style with that, just like she talks about. You want to set a beautiful table so it looks very pretty. These are the things that you want to have with you. And again, I go through all of that in the video. So just go watch the videos on my website. It makes it really easy. Oh, we have another number 5. This should be number 6, shouldn't it? Unless we skipped number 4. Yeah, no, this should be number 4. And this should be number 5. I'm making edits on here as we talk. This is my first time doing it. Okay, number 5, after your first product sale, facial, or party, these are some very important steps. Number 1, you want to enter each customer profile into the My Customer section. All right, in your customer profile, you want to enter that in there. It tells you how to do it. You want to enter the customer's sales ticket into into your My Customer section, because then on there on the computer, you're going to have a record of everything that she's ever bought from you, which is pretty fabulous, right? So that you can go pull up that person and you're trying to remember what foundation or what lipstick she had, it's all listed right there. So if you have your iPad, you have your phone with you, you can pull it up very easily because it lists everything. It will also send her automatic email reorder reminders for certain products that have a use-up rate, mostly the skincare items. So, you know, it knows that the cleanser usually lasts every 4 months. So 4 months from now, it's going to send her a message, an email, and say, hey, Susie, let me know if you're running low on your cleanser and you can order it. It makes you look really professional and you didn't do it. Okay, the company does it for you, which is so awesome. I mean, these are the tools that would cost you millions of dollars to put in place that we don't have to do. The company does for us. And then your weekly accomplishments sheet helps you keep track of your sales, you know, and that helps you keep track of what you're doing, and you know how much you're making, you're tracking your money, what you're making per hour and things like that. And that's really helpful. And then you want to track your faces on our monthly tracking sheet, which I think is in there, Brittany. We have a monthly tracking sheet. And this is your goal every single month as a consultant. You know, in your first month, of course, it is to do your perfect or power start, right? And then after that, that continuation of that is called, in our national area, we call it the bold babes, because we're the Bullock's bold babes, all right? And I have someone that's redoing a new sheet for me because I want to change some stuff on it, but this is the one I have right now. And so bold is, you know, when in a month, if you do 15 faces, 5 sharing, and 400 wholesale. Bolder is 30 faces, 10 sharing, 600 wholesale. And bodacious, if you're a bodacious babe, 50 faces, 20 sharing, and 1,000 wholesale. But this is where you're going to keep track of that. So this is like glued to your hip, that constantly you're looking at this, okay? And you're working with it, and you're tracking with it. You know, really, really important that you're really using this and keeping track of what you're doing. And so the faces, for instance, is where you write your faces. So every time that you facial someone, you're going to write their face on there, okay? And then you're going to write the dollar amounts, how much you sold to her, and then if she bought a basic skincare set, okay? So if she bought a skincare set, that's going to be on there. And then if she booked your second appointment, because you're always going to try to book a follow-up appointment with everyone. And then your sharing appointment. If you do a sharing where you share the business opportunity with someone, with your director, their name and their interest level, and then your parties down here, you know, is going to be your parties. And that's going to be who hosted your parties, how many bookings you got from it, how many referrals you got, how many skincare sets that were sold, and your total sales, okay? And then you can earn these fun prizes on here for being so. But your goal at the beginning of each month is to decide, am I going to have a bold month, a bolder month, or a bodacious month? Which one am I going to be, okay? And this gives you your goals. You do bolder consistently for 4 months, you will earn a free car. Guaranteed. You do bolder for 4 months consistently, and you will earn a free car. So if you're interested in earning a free car, that's what it takes right there, okay, is that consistent level of activity. This last page I think is always really good to see as a new consultant or any consultant, is the attitude and emotional cycle, right? Because guess what? Everyone starts out as being excited, enthusiastic, and then you hit some frustration, and then you hit some fear, and then you're denial, and then you get frustrated, and then you get recommitted, and we go through this cycle about every 5 minutes sometimes, okay? You can go through all of it in the matter of a few minutes, a few hours, a few days. This is normal. So what I want you to hear me say is it is normal for you to be scared. It is normal for you to be nervous or go through frustration. And it's learning to work with those emotions. You write this down. When you're in control of your emotions, you're in control of your paycheck. When you're in control of your emotions, you're in control of your paycheck. And that's what we talked about, knowing your numbers, okay? If you are out here and I want to earn a car and I want to earn a car, but you're doing 5 faces a month, you're going to be frustrated because you're not doing the activity to support your goal. And so it takes the emotions out of it. It's not that you're a terrible person and there's anything wrong with you. It's just this is the State of the Union address here, okay? This is where we are. This is what this sheet shows the numbers. It's a tool to diagnose. You know, this allows me to see, okay, if you've done 50 faces, but you've only sold $500, then maybe we need to look at who you were facialing, what you were saying, what you were doing. We can diagnose any issues and see if there's any sick areas of your business that we can cure. And so that's what this does. But knowing that attitude and emotion cycle, I think, is important because you will go through it. You'll go through it as the moment you signed your beauty consultant agreement. You probably went through some of that, okay? But it's a decision that you make. The people that are the most successful go through this cycle faster, okay? The national sales directors, the Mary Kay millionaires, myself at my level, I still go through this cycle. I went through this cycle today. All right. I went through it today. Not very long before y'all got here, I went through it. But I learned how to move through it quickly because I can recognize what stage I'm at and then I can get through it again. Okay. So I can move through that to get back to that recommitted and that excitement, enthusiasm stage. So that you can know that it's normal. You know, what she talks about down here, no pain without gain, right? Expanding your comfort zone. Frustration always precedes growth. Know that, right? Choose growth. It's either growth or retreat. You know, so choose that growth. Have those motivational books and those positive CDs and things you can listen to. Remember, everyone who is where you want to be has grown to that position. I'm not a national sales director yet because I haven't grown enough. That's the bottom line. Once I grow enough, then I'll be a national sales director. And so you grow into that position. And then on the back, it's a little just from me to you, some fun pictures of Mary Kay. I need to change that because I didn't convert well. But just kind of some closing thoughts on the business opportunity, what it has for you, our amazing founder, Mary Kay. And that really she developed, she didn't create a makeup company. She created a business opportunity based on certain values and principles that were available to you and then use the makeup as that tool for it. So just some fun closing thoughts in there. So this is your little, like what I call your Mary Kay Bible that's going to help you keep track of what you should be doing. If you're ever confused, go to the checklist, okay? If you're like, I don't know what I need to be doing, there's probably something on the checklist here. This is really designed. It's something I'm still working with and tweaking, but I think it's going to be really beneficial, especially for our brand new consultants, you know, to say, okay, because I needed something a little bit more in-depth than what I had, and so I'm really excited about this, and I'm going to make some adjustments to it, and I'll upload the corrected version on there for you guys of your packet. But just know that the tools and the resources are there, and they're available to you. All right, so on your piece of paper, you know, my job, I'm going to take a blank piece of paper, and I want you to draw a T on your paper, okay? So draw a T on your paper. A line across the top, and the line straight down the bottom. Draw a T, okay? We are drawing your Mary Kay menu, okay? My job as your sales director is I get to give you your options. Here's the menu of Mary Kay. Here's everything that's available to you. You get to order what you want to off the menu, okay? You know, my job is I can't do it for you. I get to say, here's what's available to you. Here's what you can do. Here's what you can take for it. So we have two areas of our business. On the left side of your T, I want you to write products. So on the left side, write products. And then on the right side, I want you to write marketing, or opportunity, opportunity. So left side is products, the right side is opportunity. So on the left side, we teach about these two things, right? We teach about products and we teach about our opportunity. There's only two subjects of Mary Kay. Isn't that great? Okay. So products, opportunity, you know, personal growth comes along with all of those things. But, you know, so on the left side, we teach about our products. So one of the ways that we teach about our products is at a facial. So write facial, one person equals one person. So a facial equals one person. So under products, just write facial equals one person. Average $50 in sales. Okay. So you can write average facial, $50 in sales. Very believable, doable, average $50, okay? So when you hear someone say, I did a facial, that means they sat down with one person and went through the skincare and color products with them. They didn't do it on them like a facial. They sat there and explained it to them, okay? A double facial, you write down underneath that, double facial equals two people. See, it's really easy once you know what the verbiage is, right? Double facial equals two people. And guess what that average is? $100. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, 100. Average, 100 in sales. And then guess what's next? Party, right? Facial, double facial, party. skincare class. You'll hear them called skincare classes. You'll hear them called Mary Kay parties, right? That's probably anywhere from 3 to 6 people. And those average at the low end, I would say, is 200 in sales. Really, it's probably more like 300 to 400. Okay, but very, very conservatively a $200. Now, there will be days, and often days, that you have one person and you sell $300. Okay, so it's going to happen the more your skills grow. But those are the ways. Now, what are some other ways that we sell the product? That would be through the Preferred Customer Program. So Preferred Customer Program, it's known as PCP. It's not a drug in Mary Kay. It's the Preferred Customer Program. And this is where you can have mailings sent to your customers of the catalog quarterly. And you can read about that on Mary Kay in Touch. All right, and the Preferred Customer Program. Another option is on-the-go appointments. On-the-go appointments is when you just drop by, take something to she calls and orders a mascara, and so you drop by and sit down with her and say, here's some of your lipstick colors. Why don't you try these on the back of your hand? And, she picks out some more products that she wants to get, or on the go is you might be at a soccer game sitting on the sideline and, with some other moms and you're playing with some of the products, and doing satin hands. Since on the go is just kind of wherever you are, you're on the go. Another option would be like a booth or fair kind of event. You could write like a booth, something at a show, there's all kinds of different vendor fairs and things like that. So those are ways that you can get to show the product. Another option would be the lookbook. Okay, so the lookbook is collecting orders and outside sales through your catalog, your lookbook. Another option will be holidays. Okay, holidays are an easy way to promote selling the product through holiday gift sets, whether it's Christmas or Mother's Day or whatever, so holidays. And we could probably keep going with lots of other options, ways that you can market your business, but those are probably the most common ones. All right, let's look at the other side, the other T side. And this is the opportunity side. All right, and this is the fun part about the opportunity. Now, these are the two main ways that you make money in Mary Kay, is the products and the opportunity, okay? Now, you can choose to only have half. That's all right. You can choose to only profit from the products. I'm someone that likes to have it all. So I'd say let's have all the profit that we can, right? Let's profit from the opportunity. So under the opportunity, I want you to write 1. And then the next line, I want you to write 3. Or skip a couple lines. 1, skip a couple lines. 3. Skip a couple lines, 5. And then skip a couple lines and write 10 and N, a capital N. So 1, 3, 5, 10, and an N. 10 and N. Okay? So here's what this looks like. 1 team member. So under opportunity, the 1 is 1 team member, or 1 recruit equals senior consultant, right? Senior consultant. So when you have your first recruit, you are a senior consultant. And as a senior consultant, you earn a 4% commission. So write 4% underneath that. 4%. Senior consultant, 4% commission. Okay? 3, you're going to write star team builder. So star team builder. That's when you have 3 recruits, 3 active recruits. It's a star team builder. And you earn a 4% commission plus $50 bonuses plus a red jacket. So 4% commission plus $50 bonuses plus red jacket. You need to wear the prestigious Mary Kay red jacket. All right, 5 is 5 recruits, and you're a team leader. Team leader. And you earn 9 or 13% commission based on how many people order and everything. So 9 or 13%. So double or triple, either way would be pretty nice, right? Double or triple your commission. 9 or 13% commission. Plus your $50 bonuses. You still get those on your new qualified team members. Plus on target car. So at your 5 level is when you can go on target for your car. And the first car that you can earn a Mary Kay is your white Chevy Cruze. Just fabulous. So it takes 5 active team members. And then when you and those team members do a certain amount of production in the month, then you can go on target for your car, okay? And then 10 and N, 10 active team members equals DIQ. It means you're a director in qualification. So 10, and you get to go in to DIQ, which means director in qualification. And that's when you get to promote yourself to the leadership position of becoming a sales director. All right. So those are the main steps on along the consultant career path, 1, 3, 5, and 10. So whatever your goal is right now, wherever you're at right now, your goal is the next one. So if you're at 0 right now, your goal is 1. You know, and then if you're at 1, you want to get to 3. And when you're at 3, you want to get to 5. And you're at 5, you want to get to 10. Right? So it's always knowing what is my next step on that Mary Kay career path. Now here's the exciting part. You know, remember I talked about Mary Kay's mathematical and magical, right? You know, the means to every end in Mary Kay is a skincare class. The skincare class, the perfect Mary Kay party. So perfect Mary Kay party means that you emphasize all aspects of the business, that you book appointments, you sell product in sets, and you build your team. So those are the 3 key skills that you want to happen all the time. You're booking and you're selling and you're team building, okay? And so this is a sheet right here. Yep, there you go. That's going to show you how to party your way to the top in Mary Kay. Yay! Party your way to the top. And so just look at the partying your way to the top, the senior consultant. So your goal at every party is 3 things, which it doesn't say it on here. It needs to add it on here. So let's write down on your paper. I want you to write down perfect party. Perfect party equals 2 plus 2 plus 2. Perfect party equals 2 plus 2 plus 2. Perfect party is that it has 2 bookings. You're writing this down because it doesn't have it on the sheet. So on your paper. So perfect party has 2 bookings, 2 sharing appointments, 2 parties booked, 2 sharing appointments booked, and 200 in sales. So 2 parties, 2 future parties booked, 2 sharing appointments booked, and $200 in sales. That's your perfect party. So we know that when we talked about the numbers of 1 and 4 will sign, right? 1 and 4 will sign. So if you hold 1 party, you book 2 sharing appointments. If you hold 2 parties, you book 4 sharing appointments, right? And then from 4 sharing appointments, theoretically, you'll probably have 1 team member, right? So on your little T where it says 1, how many parties does it take? 2, right? So 1 team member, senior consultant, 4% commission, 2 parties. So write 2 parties there and circle it because you're 2 parties away on your T, 2 parties away from a senior consultant. Because 2 parties, you book 2 sharing appointments at each of those parties for a total of 4. Out of those 4, 1 will join your team and you become a senior consultant. Okay, so you're 2 parties away from being a senior consultant. You know, this sheet says 4 parties, you know, for 2 consultants, you know, or 2 team members, okay? So it's a double senior. Star team builder. Basically, however many team members that you want, you multiply it times 2, and that's how many parties that you need to hold to get those team members. That's the secret right there, okay? So the 3 recruits is how many parties?
6.
6, right? So write 6 parties by your 3. Okay, 6 parties on your T. Team leader, 5 recruits is 10 parties. 10 parties away. You're 10 parties away from going on target for your car. Yay! 10 parties away from being on target for a free car. All right, this I just future sales director in there. DI director and qualification 10, you're 20 parties away. Okay, so 20 parties away from DIQ. Now, it depends whether you do those 20 parties in 1 month, or you do the 20 parties in 6 months, and 6 years, or whatever you want to do. It's up to you. You decide how quickly you want to hold those parties so that you can have the results to be able to be at that place that you want to be at. Okay? It's all about the parties. It does not work out the same. Even if you just do that many faces, the magic is in the party of the group of women together at the same time. That's where the bookings happen. That's where the team building happens. That's when you sell product in the sets. You use the closing sheet. All of that's covered on my website on the training, the skincare class videos. Okay, so you decide that's your Mary Kay menu. Now after 10 and in down here at the bottom it says independent sales director. Now independent sales director is we would take the whole rest of your page to write all the ways that a sales director makes money, because it's a whole lot. All right, but it's fun. And it's great and it's very rewarding, and you get to be very successful in building your business. But, you know, as that sales director, once you get to DIQ, then you and your 10 girlfriends, you and your 10 friends build together to 24. So see, it says independent sales director is 48 parties because it's 24 team members. But when you've already done 20 of them to get to your 10 team members, then you only have 28 more to go to get to sales director, and all the ones that your team members do count. So 11 of you doing 28 parties is not a big deal, right? You do the first 20, you and your team do the next 28. And that makes you a sales director and earns you that position of sales director and moving into that position. And that's a huge leap in your income and your commissions and your bonuses and your sales and the cars and the prizes and the rewards, and there's so many extra things on top of that, right? But that's what that's going to look like of building your team. So you get to party your way to the top in Mary Kay. Yay! It's all about your parties. All about your parties. All right. So let's talk a little bit about your time management, because we said there's several key areas that will really make or break your business, and that is time management, money management, attitude management. Yeah, there's 2 pages with it. So time, money, attitude. So your time management, first of all, is your spiral notebook, right, with your master to-do list. Yes. Your other part of your time management is your weekly plan sheet. And this is where you sit down ahead of time at the beginning of the week. You know, it's just like driving. You are looking out your front to know where you're going, right? You cannot drive looking in the rearview mirror. And if you try to run your business or run your life without a plan, it's like trying to drive only looking in the rearview mirror. We have to look forward. There's 2 pages. So there's a blank sheet, and then there's a completed sheet that gives you all a sample. Okay, so it's kind of like a sample example of how you use your weekly plan sheet. On this weekly plan sheet is where you're going to sit down ahead of time. You put the dates in here, and you pre-plan. You block out, when am I at my job? When do I have responsibilities with my family, with my kids, with my church, with all the other things that I have, and then where am I going to fit Mary Kay into there? Okay, and you plan ahead on those. Down here, I love the Mary Kay bath. And this is helps you stay focused daily. It talks about this is where your attitude management comes in. The bath, B stands for booking. If you book a new appointment every day, you will never be out of bookings, right? Always book a new appointment every day. Or bless 5 people and get to meet 5 new friends. A is your affirmation. You have a positive affirmation that you're saying out loud, which are here at the bottom of the page. T is a tape or CD, it's trading. And then H is hello. That says in Televerse, but it should say hotline. That's why I use the hotline one. And then E, exercise. D, and devotional time. And so you can, if you want to check off that you take your vitamins and you drink your water, if you want to track all that on here, go right ahead. But down here in the colors are your affirmations. We talked about learning to say positive statements, learning to have things that really build you up. And so that positive affirmation statements are right here at the bottom of these colors. So every time you see the color red, you're going to say out loud, I'm a people magnet. Everyone wants to work with me. I'm a people magnet. Everyone wants to work with me. I'm a people magnet. Everyone wants to work with me. Every time you see the color green, which just happens a lot right now, right? Because you're out driving around. There's green trees. There's green grass. You say, I create wealth for my family. 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 And then yellow, only good things happen to me and those I love. Only good things happen to me and those I love. Only good things happen to me and those I love. And then blue, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So those are your affirmations you can say because you're going to see all those colors. But here you can see an example of how she plugged in her jobs. How she plugged in her, green would be her skincare class time, or her time of making money with her business. She put orange as her family time, and then the light blue is her business commitments, and then the red were kind of her other things that she needed to do with her business. So you can color code it however you want to, but you just want to separate out those different parts of your business that you need to be doing, and so that you're plugging them. So you're pre-planning. So ahead of time, when are you going to hold your appointments, right? When are your appointment nights? Are they, Thursday nights? Are they Friday nights? Or is it Saturday morning? You have to know that in advance so that Mary Kay doesn't take over your life, because it shouldn't take over your life. You want it to be something that balances with your life. You don't want your family to feel like that you're always doing Mary Kay. When your family sees this and they see a whole lot of time that you're with them, that you're in family activities, that you're doing those things, and Mary Kay is just these little blocks. It's a good reminder, she's not doing it all the time. She's only doing it on those hours. And she still has plenty of time seeing that she's making us a priority. So your weekly plan sheet is a really, really important skill to develop, to really plan your time and know ahead of time what you're going to be doing. The other one that's really important is your IPAs. And those are in there somewhere because they're the small little ones. Yep. There they are. Okay, perfect. Your IPAs. IPA is a new word that I'm teaching you, abbreviation. It stands for income producing activity. Now, we have all had times that we have been guilty, right? I always use the example of a basket of laundry because it seems like there's always a basket of laundry in my house, right? And so, there's basket of laundry, and it's maybe a clean laundry and it just needs to be put away, but it's just sitting there in my room. And every time I walk by it, I'm like, oh gosh, I need to put those clothes away. I need to put those clothes away. I need to put those clothes away. And the next day, oh yeah, I forgot about those clean clothes. I need to put those away. Oh yeah, I forgot. I need to put those clothes away. I need to put those clothes away. I need to put those clothes away. And a whole week goes by and you're exhausted thinking about the laundry that needs to be put away, but it is still in the basket. Okay? We can all relate to that. There are things around our house. There are things in our house that need to be done that we've thought about them so much that we think that they're done. And they aren't. And your Mary Kay business is the same way. It is really easy to be busy being busy. I've given you, yes, there's checklists and there's training and there's information and there's things that are important to do. Yes, it's important to, cook food, right? It's important to learn and to grow. But the most important use of your time is something that's going to bring income to you and to your family. And that's what these tasks are. And again, this is your little thermometer that you put in your mouth and go, okay, am I really making a difference? Am I really working or not? These are your IPAs. A party, a sharing appointment, a new recruit, of course, a guest at an event, a follow-up conversation with a prospect, 2 facials or on-the-go appointments, 2 new bookings, 2 basic skincare customers, 2 new customers with any size purchase, 3 conversations, of attempts, 7 new contacts, pre-profiling your guest, coaching a hostess. These are your IPAs. So these are things that directly impact your bottom line to make you money in your business. So if you find yourself frustrated, we're going to look at this IPA sheet because we're going to see how much you've been thinking about Mary Kay versus how much you'd really been doing the activities that are going to make you money. Because my assumption is that you came into Mary Kay to make income, right? To make extra money. And you can work a whole lot of hours and not make any money because you're doing the wrong activities. And so doing the right activities, we have to know what those right activities are, right? 5 of these IPAs is a part-time consultant. 10 per week, you're going to move into a red jacket. 15 per week, you're headed towards a free car. 20 per week, you're headed towards sales director. So if you want to know, am I doing the activities that I need to line up with my goals? If I said I want to be a director, if I said I want to earn a car, what are my activities showing? Okay, if I say, okay, I want to make, $300 a week, I want to be part-time. Okay, what activity supports that? Am I doing the activity? There's a lot of people that want to be a sales director. There's a lot of people that want to earn a car, but they don't want to do the work that it takes to get to that place. They don't want to go through the personal growth that it takes to grow into that position. But your IPAs is what you want to be looking at every single day. An IPA will keep the Mary Kay blues away. Okay? IPA a day keeps the Mary Kay blues away. I just made that up. Y'all like that? All right, that's good. There you go. Write it down. I'm going to quote it in writing. I'm sure someone else has said that before in Mary Kay. But it's important to keep in mind as a consultant that, as your leader and as your sales director, we have hundreds within our organization, that I get the privilege of leading and teaching. It is not humanly possible for me to give equal time to all of those people. And so my love for every single person that is under my influence is unconditional. I love you unconditionally. I believe in you 1,000%. And my time investment is conditional to the level of work that you're doing. And so if you're someone that's really not doing hardly anything with your business, but yet you're calling me 5 times a day, I'm not going to be able to answer all those calls because I have to put my time investment into those that are really doing the work. And I will give you my love and my assistant will give you some attention. But it's important to know that your sales director is the same way. That her love is unconditional and her time is conditional. And we learned that from Mary Kay Ash, our founder, because we are human and there are a whole 24 hours a day and only 24 hours in a day. And so we have to learn, and Mary Kay gives us our priority. She taught us that our priority is our new consultants, getting you all off to a great start, and our key consultants that are moving up the career path, that are performing at this bolder level, the bodacious level, that are moving into red jacket, into car, into a sales director, into leadership. Even if your goal isn't a car and sales director, but you're just working consistently. You're telling me, here's my IPAs that I did. Here's the productivity, the faces that I did, the sales that I did. You're communicating those things to me. That shows me that you want to work, and that you want something more. And I will invest in you. It's just like that tennis ball, right? I'm going to hit you the tennis ball back. If you don't hit it back to me, I'm going to go play with someone else. I'm going to hit out 10 tennis balls, and the ones that hit it back to me, then we're going to play ball. But if I throw out a challenge and I throw out a promotion and I throw out a book 10, book 10 parties by the 5th, then the ones that do it get my attention, right? I throw out this, go do 10 faces this week. You do that. That tells me that you're serious and that you want my attention. And so you get that more attention and more focus from your sales director as you're doing those activities. That's how I can really tell that you're serious about the business. You wanted the business to be successful for you. You have to treat it like the business that it is. If you treat it like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby, which is usually nothing because hobbies usually cost money. They don't make money, right? And so that's okay. If that's your expectation level, you just have to know that's what's going to happen. If you want this to be a business, you treat it like a business. You invest in it like you do a business. You invest your time in it. You invest your resources. You invest your money into it, and it will pay you like a business. That's the key part about knowing where you're going to invest that time correctly. Let's talk about at your skincare class, knowing at your skincare class, you're going to see the videos that I posted for you guys of the different skincare class, my skincare class, how to pack for it, how to set up for it, things like that. It's really important to put in place the 2 things that you'll see me do in my video. One of them is the video of the desert island game, and Tamara Porter, my offspring director, has perfected this. She does it way better than I do. So her video of this is on my website as well, and it's on the YouTube. I have a YouTube channel that has different playlists, so you can see the different playlists in our YouTube channel. But you can see the parties, and that's for getting referrals at your parties, and it gets your guest list. And then I also have the Deal or No Deal game, which is a really fun game to play at your parties, and that's where you can get your bookings from your parties. Then as we talked about, your parties and your faces, Another tracking sheet you're going to use is your recruiting layering sheets. Ding, ding, ding. So this is your recruiting layering sheet. All of these things you can print out either on my website or on our Facebook group under the files section. So under Facebook group, under files, under the picture, you'll see it says files, and you can print out right there. But the recruiting is a layering process. And so this is really important to keep in mind. So every single person that's on that prospect list, right, that's in your section 2 of your spiral notebook, of people that I want to contact, there's already people on that list you think, I would love to have her on my team of Mary Kay. You know, I think she would be great in this. Her name's going to go on this list. All right, her name and phone number goes on here, and then you're going to start checking off the different layers, because to build your team, it's a layering process. They need to have tried the product or be using the product. It's great if they've hosted a party, because guess what? If they hosted a party, when they become a consultant, they're going to hold parties, because that's what they did before they came to Mary Kay. That's what they're going to do after the Mary Kay. You know, we bring someone to a guest event. They have a packet they read. They listen to a CD. They watch a video on the website. They hold an appointment. There's all these different layers. The average person makes a decision to join Mary Kay after 3 to 4 layers. Okay, 3 to 4 layers. 4 layers is the average. Now, if you're someone that signed up the first time that you heard about Mary Kay, that's great. But understand, not everyone's going to be that way. You know, probably the majority of the people aren't going to be that way. And so you can get frustrated and think something's wrong with you if people don't sign up the first time, you know? And so, I mean, I was that way. I was first time I signed up, and I would be like, you know, I'd sit down, I'd share with them, and they didn't do it. I moved on, and I forgot about them. And I didn't put them on this layering sheet. And I've recruited a lot of people for a lot of other Mary Kay consultants because I didn't follow up with them. So it's this follow-up sheet right here. And I mean, I've had people, once I really started being good about doing this layering sheet, that stayed on here for years on this layering sheet, you know, that were on here, you know. Amanda's someone that was in my units, recruited by someone else, and I kept up with her because I knew she was great. And so we stayed in touch on Facebook, and I found her on one of these sheets, and I sent her a Facebook message one time, be like, girl, let's get together. Let's talk about Mary Kay again, you know. And she came into my unit and will be a sales director. It's the layering process. You know, sometimes these layers happen over weeks. Sometimes they happen over months. Sometimes they happen over years. But it's just doing the layers. And so constantly be working with this and having people of who are your prospect. You should always have a lot of people, you know, so that you're not stuck waiting on this one person to sign up and do her business, okay? You will go crazy. You know, it's like going to an orchard and seeing that one perfect apple, and you're just going to wait for that one apple to drop. You will starve to death, right? All the while, there's apples everywhere, perfectly good, wonderful, yummy apples all around you, but you will starve if you get stuck on one apple. The same is true of Mary Kay. If you have that one person that you know she'll be so good at Mary Kay, and you're just waiting and waiting and waiting and asking her, you know, she goes on the list. And yes, you throw it out there, and you're politely persistent, but you're not only doing that, right? You have all these other people you're working with at the same time. You know, and so one of the phrases I learned early on is that some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. When it comes to booking an appointment, when it comes to selling the product, when it comes to hosting a party, when it comes to joining your team, some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. And if you get stuck on the some that won't, you'll miss out on the some that are waiting. And so use this to create a layering sheet. And whenever you sit down with your sales director and you say, okay, I want to talk to you. I really want to grow. I want to go take my business to the next level. I'm ready. What do I need to do? I'm going to ask to see your monthly tracking sheet. I'm going to ask to see your recruiting layering sheet. And there's another sheet I forgot to print out for you guys. I realize it's called a bubble sheet, where you keep track of like your contacts of how many people that you call and how many you contact. And I'll for those of you that are new, I'll post that on there. I need to add that to my list. But those are really your main sheets that I'm going to look at. And from those things, and your IPAs, I would say those 4 things. You know, your income producing activities, wherever my little IPA sheet went. There, she did go back. That's all right. Your IPAs. Yeah, there you go. My IPA sheet. Thank you. All right. Yeah. So those are the 4 things. I want to see your monthly tracking sheet of your activity level, you know, and the results from those activities, your bubble sheet, which shows your attempts, of how many people you're attempting to ask or text or call, your income producing activities of how many you're actually doing that are directly bringing you income, and then the layering sheet. Really right now, as a brand new consultant, you should be able to put probably 15 or 30 people on a layering sheet. It doesn't matter if you haven't even facialed them yet. That's okay. But who is in your circle? Who's in your life that you think she would be good in Mary Kay? I have no clue if she'd be interested or not, but she would be good at this. I would like to work with her. She has integrity. She loves makeup. She's great with people. She's loves throwing parties. I know she needs to make some extra income. I met a consultant a customer this week that became a consultant on my team, and talked about that. We talked about, so why would you really, really want to do something like Mary Kay? And she's, my husband is eligible to retire in 4 years from the police force, but we can't afford for him to retire. And so he has to keep working, but I know he really wants to retire because he wants to go start his own business. So if I could do my Mary Kay so that in 4 years we could be at the place that he could retire and he could go pursue his dream, that's why I would do this. That's exactly why. You have to know. You never know until you ask and you sit down with people and you just share, right? She was someone at a party and I said, I want to talk to you. I want to get to know you better. I met her the first time at a party and said, I would love to have her on my team. She is fun to hang around. I love being with her. She just has that spark inside her. And so I put her name on my list and we set up an appointment and we did that sharing appointment. And she watched a video before we held the sharing appointment. And she attended a party and she bought products. So that was her 4th layer. And she joined as a result of that. So, working, there's some people that are going to have to do these layers several times, It doesn't mean everyone on your sheet's going to recruit, right? It's a process. It's working the numbers. It's knowing that. But especially when you have a special event or you have a guest event or something that's exciting that's going on, who I need to invite because they're people off of this sheet, right? That's your layering sheet of people that you're going to pull off of there that you can work with. All right, let's see, the layering sheet. Okay, real quick, we're going to talk through money management. So on your paper, I want you to draw a triangle. So on your paper, draw a triangle like that. Draw a triangle, big one. All right, so at the top, you're going to write inventory. And the bottom left, you're going to write product. And the bottom right, you're going to write profit. Okay, so inventory, product, profit. And in the middle, you're going to write your money bag. This is your money bag, right? So this is your money bag of Mary Kay. Okay? Down here, you're going to write 60%. In the lower left, you're going to write 60%. In the lower right, you're going to write 40%. 60% where it says product, 40% where it says profit. Okay? This is how your Mary Kay money should flow. Now, I do suggest that you have a Mary Kay business account. What I will even suggest is that you either have a checking and a savings account or you have 2 checking accounts because that's the simplest way to separate it. Because if you put it all in one account, unless you're really detailed, it gets mixed up and it gets muddled. And so you want to have like a Mary Kay product account and a Mary Kay profit account. And this is something that I've found to be very helpful, to have 2 checking accounts. And they're free, so it doesn't cost you anything to have a second checking account, okay? Because then it's much easier to keep your money separated where it should be, okay? So like you have just, write product account and profit account, okay? Product account, profit account. So we're going to take the example of, let's say that I suggest that you deposit your Mary Kay money like once a week, just go do your weekly Mary Kay deposit. And let's just say you have $500, okay? So $500 in sales from your Mary Kay money, okay? So you're going to take that $500 and you're going to divide it into your 60 and 40%. So instead of depositing all $500 into one account, you're going to separate it. You're going to put $300 into your product account. So write 300 on the lower left, and you're going to write 200 on the lower right, okay? So you have $300 you put in your product account and $200 you put in your profit account. $300 is going to go back into your inventory, okay? So that $300 is going to back into product, because 60% you're always going to put back into your business, okay? Because if you just sold $500, you need to reorder it, right? You just sold $500, you need to reorder it. $250 will buy the $500, okay? The extra $50 that you're putting in here is going to cover any expenses, catalogs, samples, order forms, shipping, all that is covered in there, okay? So it kind of covers some of those expenses for your business. So always, 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 always reorder 60%. Always. You're always going to reorder 60% of everything that you sell. If you don't, you will be embezzling from yourself. So embezzling is bad. You go to jail if you embezzle, okay? There will be a lot of Mary Kay women in jail. I would be one of them, because I embezzled from my business if they really checked up on us, okay? So don't want to be embezzled. So $300 is going to go back into your inventory. And then the other $200 is your profit, okay? Now, what you can do with that, let's just say that you had, a 3,000 order, okay? Not even a full store. Let's just say you started with a 3,000 inventory, okay? A 3,000 inventory. Well, if you're putting $200 towards paying off your inventory, if you're putting that towards paying it off, then you'd have it paid off in 15 weeks, right? In just 4 months. So if you took the $200 to pay off your loan, the $300 you're reinvesting back into your business, because see this $300 goes to Mary Kay, and then this $200 goes to your loan. Okay? So $300, you reorder the product, $200 pays off your loan. You have your store totally paid for in 4 months. And then you have full stock of product completely paid for, okay, before you have any interest on it. Now, if you want to, you could take, you could divide. You could do $100 towards your loan and $100 for fund money, okay, for your family. So you could split it if you want to. This is your profit. You can divide it however you want to. You can put $100 towards paying it off, and then just take, longer to pay off that investment, and then $100 towards your fund money. So it's up to you how quickly you want to pay that off, okay? You can pay that off in, 30 weeks, which is still pretty good, right? That's still, 7 months, a little less than that? Yeah, so that's pretty good still. So you can still pay that off. So you decide, but you have to separate that. Now, if you don't have any inventory loan, what's going to happen is that whole $500 is going to go to your business, okay? So if you don't have product in stock, $100, you don't even need that profit account, because you're not taking a profit, because you're paying your business. But if you want to take a profit, then we have a way to get you some inventory. All right? If you don't have any inventory, then all your money goes right back into your business. And it's really hard for your family to be supportive of something that's not bringing any money in. So it's important that you take a profit. And that's why it's important that we find a way to get you some products so that you can take a profit. And even if you invested in a smaller amount of product and you find yourself frustrated because you're having to reorder and you don't have enough stuff, you won't see that if you get yourself to a full store level. So because if you have a smaller loan, then you're reordering and you're having to pay your loan and you still don't have enough, and it kind of even be more frustrated. That's why that profit level of $3,600 wholesale is really important. And that's really a key benefit to helping you see the success and see the income faster, is having that profit level. But that's how you're going to run your money. Does that make sense to you guys? That's your little triangle. You divide it up. It makes it easy. Don't complicate it. Keep it simple, okay? Really knowing, but you have to, again, know where you're going to put the money, because you have to overcome that temptation of when you have the money bag from your skincare class last night, and it's now the next day, and you have the kids after school, and they want to drive through McDonald's, and you forgot your wallet, but you do have that money bag of cash that you made last night, it wouldn't be no big deal, right? Just pull some out, and I'll pay it back when I get home. They're going to come arrest you because you embezzled, okay? It's tempting. It's tempting. Don't do it because it will mess everything up. Like, what if you worked for a store that you went and made deliveries, right? Can you imagine the people that work at Lowe's that go deliver appliances and they collect the money for the appliances and then they go to their boss and be like, well, we were hungry on the way home, so we stopped and ate, and so you can just subtract like that $30 from our paycheck for this month. I'm sure it'll all work out, right? How long would you have that job? Gone. See ya. Okay, so you have to be your boss. You have to be the president and the CEO and the treasurer, not the secretary. You hire a secretary, okay? You are not the secretary because you hire a secretary. You know, that's what we talked about, those, you know, putting the profile cards in the Mary Kay in Touch, putting the sales tickets in the Mary Kay in Touch. Those are something teenagers can do. My girls help me in the office, all right? My 11-year-old boys help me in the office. They, Mom, I want to make some money. What can I do? There's always stuff that they can do, okay? So involve them in that. But that's when Mary Kay Ash, the first thing that she taught every new consultant back in 1963, the first thing she said is, get a housekeeper. Get a housekeeper. Now, people didn't do that in 1963, okay? But get a housekeeper. Because every time that you're cleaning your toilet or ironing your shirt or mopping your floor, it's costing your family money. Because you could be out, unskilled, untrained, person that doesn't know what they're doing can make $25 an hour, right? What did I just say? At a facial, you sell average of $50 and you profit $25. So $25 an hour profit. You can find someone that will clean your house for less than that, right? And so it is all about where you choose to put your time. And choosing that, you know, that was something that in our family, my husband had never been in a place, you know, in a family that they ever had someone work in their home and never had someone clean their house or anything. We always did. And so he had a hard time with that at first. And so my card that I played is number one, I'll pay for it from Mary Kay money, right? So then they're like, all right. And number two, let's just try it. Let's just try it for a month and see what happens. And he really liked it, he figured out, right? He really liked that, you know. He liked that. He left work this morning and this place was not clean at all. And we came home and it was. Okay? You know, that's the part that he liked about that. And so it's knowing that it's important that you really separate your time. You know, you have to spend your time in those right areas. There's another sheet as we're talking about the products. You know, I have some people that say, well, I came in Mary Kay because I need to pay off debt, so I can't go into more debt to get product. Well, number one, it's an investment. It's not a debt, because a debt is something that you go buy clothes and you wear them and you can't take them back, and then they're a credit card, and that is a debt because you can't pay it back. But you go buy a car or you buy a house, that is an investment because you can sell that item and make a profit from it. So this is how you can start with product, pay off your loan, and pay off a debt, and have profit. So at the very low side, what if you just sold $200 a week? That's one party, one Mary Kay party. You found 2 hours for that. All right, that's a total of $800 in income for the month. You take $100 to pay your loan. You take $400 to reorder your product. You give $100 to yourself, and that still leaves $200 to pay off other debt. So you have a full store. You're paying that off. You're paying other bills, and you're paying off debt. $200 a month over 12 months, that's $2,400. I mean, that would pay off a significant amount of debt for someone. You know, whether it's student loans, whether it's other credit cards, whether it's a car, whatever that looks like. Look, if you're willing to work a little harder, sell $1,000 a week, you know, four parties, hit $250. That's $4,000 income. Now we're talking. $100 pays off towards your loan payment, $2,000 reorder, $300 to $1,000 to have fun. That still leaves $1,000 a month to pay off other debt. But this only works because you have a business loan and because you have product in stock. You can't follow this plan if you don't have product in stock, because you don't get to go pay off other debt. You don't get to go make a monthly payment. You take all that money and you put it back into your business. So this helps you, write down your debt, numbering it 1 to 10, smallest to largest, pay those things off, and then you start making those payments, and this helps you. I mean, this is coming into Mary Kay is about developing better habits with your money. We've all been in places that weren't good. And so this is really helping you learn to do that. And then we teach that 60-40 split, which is the other sheet that she'll give you. And this says everything that I just did with the little triangle, but it just writes it out for you. So if you're visual and you want to see what it looks like, that's what this looks like. It's what's called the 60-40 split. That's where this runs it. This explains it. This reads through it for you. If you want to hear what all that looks like, that's that 60-40 split. But you have to know what to do with your money. You have to know, you have to follow where it's going. If you will spend yourself right out of business, right? If we are not tracking where we're putting our Mary Kay money. And then at the end, last, I want to tell you all that we talked about, money management, time management, your skill management comes from learning the classes, the CDs, and your attitude management. Attitude management is controlling this right here, which you've talked about. Your affirmations, positive affirmation, your books, really putting yourself in the space of reading awesome books, Voxer messages, listening to your Voxers that you're getting from us, checking your Facebook pages on a regular basis. What I suggest doing, if I have a whole training that I recorded on the tax deductions, and so I'll post that separately because I spent a whole 45 minutes going over line by line the tax deduction sheet that we use, and so I'll post that so you guys can listen to it. The bottom line is you just want to save your receipts. You want to have a filing system. What I do with a sales ticket, and when someone buys a product from me, order from me, of course I tear out one copy, and I give it to her, okay? I give her a copy. And then one copy I keep I have a little income folder that I keep track of all my sales. So I usually put that one there. And then the other copy is where I just put in a little file folder. That's my reorder folder and my input into the computer folder for my assistant. Okay, so I put this in a little file. And so she knows to put this order in the computer on Mary Kay in Touch. And then also to go into Mary Kay in Touch and create a product order with all these products on it because I need to restock them, right? And so if you just have this little sheet here that shows everything that you've sold and you go once a week and create a product order with everything that you sold on it, it makes it really easy to reorder your product, once or twice a month as often as you're restocking because you know everything that you sold. And depending on if you have profit level or don't have profit level, and you might, order more of some things or less of something else, but this helps you know how to restock. So that's what you do with your sales tickets. One copy in an income folder, one copy, of course, for the customer, and then, one copy you're going to basically keep to add on Mary Kay in Touch and to reorder from. And then I also have my customer, or my assistant sends a little thank you postcard to every customer for every time they place an order. It's a little thank you for your order postcard that they get in the mail. So those are some of the systems that you can put in place, for having an assistant. And you should have an assistant that cleans your mirrors for you and put your little goodie bags together with, eyeshadow samples or put stickers on your product or inputs these things into the computer. This is not time that you need to be spent doing, okay? Your husband, kids, nieces, grandkids, neighbor kids, whatever, can do these jobs. And so it's really important that you're spending your time on IPAs, right? On your income producing activities. That's what you want to be spending your time on. And then the profile cards, the customer profile cards, I just keep those in an alphabetical file, where I store that, the alphabetically so that I can access and pull up their information. And I write notes on the back of the profile card of what they bought, what they liked, and things like that, so I keep track of those things on there. So I'm going to open it up for questions because we have a couple minutes left here. So who has a question about anything that we covered or that we didn't cover? And even if you guys online have a question, you can type it on there if you can figure out how to do that with the little contact thing. So who has a question about anything that I'm going to give you all a chance to ask me questions? No questions. Your brains are full, right? I just dump everything into your brain.
That's right.
Overflowing in a good way. In a good way. So what do you feel like? the most valuable thing is that you've learned from today, even for our seasoned consultants? The most valuable thing that you took away from this training?
Well, I love this. I feel like I've been waiting.
Yes, good.
It is visual. It is a template.
Yes,
it is a
good.
flow chart.
Good.
This.
Good. Okay, good. Good.
And it is
Good.
overwhelming.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you.
you.
Good.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. It's been a work in progress. So,
Basic boot camp or something like that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Good. That's what I
You
wanted to
guys
do.
made sense out of how my, Mary Kay office should look.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
Okay. In fact, probably my question would be, and I'm not really sure where, it's kind of a loaded question, but could you go into a little more depth, or maybe it's in this welcome packet, about the ring binder? Because I have a ring binder. I've started this, but just anything that I could,
Well,
like
the
basic sections to divide that out in. Is it in here?
like a brain book, I think it mentions like your brain book. I don't know that it goes into a lot of detail on it. Where is that? What page is that? It's on, the more MK rewards at the bottom. It says the brain book, but it just says, the sheet protectors, pocket holders. That's where you just put papers like that you want to keep with you at all times. So like I would have a few monthly tracking sheets in here. I would have your recruiting layering sheets in there. I would have extra copies of your IPAs, so like having it, whether it's a binder or it's like a folder, like that just has your tracking sheets, any current, I would probably have a section that says like tracking sheets and a section that says current contest, so you put your newsletter in there that you get in the mail from me, or any contest that we have going on that you can print, out from the website or from the email, maybe even print, the pink link that I send with the dates and things like that, so current events, current contest, and then I would of course kind of have in there your spiral notebook, and that's going to have who you're calling, who you're talking to, who your prospects are, those kinds of things that you're going to have in there. And then your sales tickets and profile cards aren't really going to stay in there because mine stay in my money bag, and they go straight from my money bag into my office where the assistant does the different stuff with them. Okay. But you kind of figure out that system that works for you on there. Okay, good. And what I like about this is that, ideally, and I forgot to mention this, but in the perfect world, you're going to follow up with a customer within 2 days, 2 weeks, and 2 months. Okay, that's the 2 + 2 + 2. Now, in that real world, that doesn't always work out perfectly, but that's why I like this sheet. Because I forget people I facialed last week, right? I forget people I facialed last month. And she's like, oh yeah, she wanted to buy that stuff when she got paid next Friday, and maybe I should follow up with her. So that's where I like this month. If you can, once you have several months worth of this monthly tracking sheet, it's very valuable for you to look back and see your growth and where you came from and what you built from. And you remember people that you facialed, like, oh yeah, I really liked her. She was super cute. She wasn't free to get together for a sharing appointment, but I want to go back and share with her now, because within 2 days you're following up on like what products they used and what they bought and what they liked, and answer their questions. And within 2 weeks, hopefully you're having their second appointment. So you're getting back in front of her again to build more of that relationship. Then within 2 months, she probably has gotten a new lookbook in the mail, and there's new products out. And so it's time to get together with her for another update appointment, So that's where this monthly tracking sheet really helps you keep up with everyone, so you don't have to carry around all the sales tickets and profile cards because it's on here, so it's on that one paper. Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. So you're going to develop, Tammy, like, I don't necessarily think it's important that you have to keep every handout that you get at a unit meeting and things like that, because it's in the computer, right. And like I do a filing cabinet that I put booking, Christmas ideas or whatever, but pretty much anything you get an electronic form, and it's going to come back around the next spring or whatever. But if there's really great ideas, then yes, have maybe a binder or a filing cabinet that you keep at home that you put something you're like, that's a really great idea for teacher appreciation.
I'm using it like daily.
Sure.
Okay, what do I need to do today?
Yeah.
So tonight has taught me so much.
Good.
To be able to springboard now.
Great.
Some of into action. It's like, because my house is in a state of chaos with things having been
Yep.
moved in, things moving out, and I'm getting my own little office.
Yay!
Yeah. It's like, all right, I will do it. I'm not
Good.
used to losing things, so it kind of rocks my world when I do. not a good place.
And that's, I mean, some people think you have to keep everything. You don't have to keep everything. I mean, you know, you go crazy, you try to keep everything, but the binder's good. Yeah, perfect. And then every so often you're going to clear it out. You know, you're like,
it's
you know what, I
cleaned
don't
right
need
now,
that. Yeah, you know, we got to clear it out sometimes. Like, okay, I can let go of that paper. I'll find it again. You know, and that's where, like, she talked about the spiral notebook, the sections, you know, of having one section that is your to-do list. The second section is your prospecting list. And the third section is your notes. So whether you're unit meeting, whether you're an event, whether you're whatever, all your notes that you take at any training are in one place. You know, personally, I like to just have a whole separate notebook of training because, like, I find that I'm going to go through the brain dump list and the people list, you know, it'll take me longer to fill that up than it does the training section, you know, so I just like to have a whole separate training notebook that is training, and I have spiral notebooks upon spiral notebooks of notes that I've taken at training classes, you know. Actually, now I'm taking them on the iPad and I save them through Evernote, which I like even more because then I can go back and look at them. So yeah, that's what I do. I use the Evernote on the iPad, and that's where I take all my notes on there. So then I can just go do a search because I can remember, like, I heard that at a unit meeting or I heard that at seminar. Like, I can remember kind of where I heard it usually or who told it to me. And so I can go search easily on electronically than on paper, you know, and so that's why I've kind of transitioned to doing the Evernote for that. That's been helpful. So yes, well, good. I'm so glad.